National Service Authority. The two accused persons spent 2 months in custody because of bail conditions. The first bail condition was 800 million Ghana cedi. He did not show any sign of being a flight risk, whether he will run away or he will not run away, and so on. You see, all that we're saying is that if you look at someone who is an accused person, who is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty by a court, the person is kept for 2 months because there is a bail condition. He went to the court for a review. The court reviewed it. Still, he was not able to meet those bail conditions until it was reviewed up to around 50 million before he was able to really get get to come out before even the trial started. Look at Hanan. Hanan and his wife spent weeks. As I speak right now, the case in the last 1 year has not started. They are still at case management. And today, he has been portrayed as a criminal. They showed houses to say that these are houses that belong to Hanan. This has never happened in the history of this country. No attorney general in the history of this country has ever organized a press conference to pronounce people guilty, except Ayine. He organized press conferences, say that this is thriller in Manila, the issues that he is coming to bring out will blow the minds of Ghanaians. He did that press conference. Today, all the cases, almost all the cases that he held press conference on, it is only 3 that has started. Even, let me say even 2. The NSA case and the Wontumi case. These are the only 2 cases that have really started. The rest are still at case management.
So Wontumi, there are 2, right? Samna Boy and then...
Yes, I'm saying that. If you look at the press conferences and the people he mentioned and so on, and the people who had been arrested in the past and had been given onerous bail conditions that they had to go to court for the court to review them. It is not only the minority that is talking about it. The Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak, says that it is becoming a norm that people are given onerous bail conditions. So I'm surprised that he says he didn't hear about it. The Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, also decried that there is a growing culture in this country where people, innocent people are arrested and they are given bail conditions that they had to spend weeks. Look at those who were incarcerated under us. The 8 people who were even convicted. None of them had those stringent bail conditions. Look at Sednam Tamakulu. It was just 5 million. But the amount of money was around 96 million or 76, right? But it was just 5 million. And 2 people stood surety. And the first day she was arrested, she was granted bail that day. But it was 72 counts. But she was granted bail that day and was given leave to even leave the country. And she absconded. You understand? So the thing is becoming so, we're saying that this time around, the best thing is that stop it now. So that at least it will not be a cycle. Because it is becoming as though if I don't like you, I can arrest you. And after arrest, I keep you in custody for days. Look at Provincial, the former boss CEO. He was just going to Kigali. He got to airport, then they said he was on stop list. They arrested him. He spent 8 days in custody. Today, the case has not, they've not even called him again. But he spent 8 days in custody. Why must that happen? Even Alhaji Mumina, William TV, and Eugene Bafuboni were not treated like this. If you have a case, go and prosecute it in court. That's why some of us are against the press conferences. Because the press conferences are needless. Look at what happened to Miracles. Miracles was invited by NIB. He honored that invitation. After honoring that invitation on the 28th of February, in May, he even called them to ask them whether there is any issue for him to answer. They said, no, we'll call you. He left this country. Whilst returning, now you're saying that he was on a stop list. So you have stopped him. And you're giving him 50 million bail condition. And the two sureties must have two properties, and the two of them will have to justify with properties. We had attorney generals in this country. We had people who had served as Yoko and so on in this country. We are not against any prosecution. 13 of our people were prosecuted in between 2009 and 2016. 13 of them were prosecuted. And there was no hue and cry because at that time they were treated with courtesies. Look at when Asabi was arrested at airport together with his wife. They were just leaving this country, they were arrested, they were brought in, they were granted bail later. I spent a day, they were granted bail. They went ahead to win the case. You understand? So if it was to be a press conference to say Asabi was a criminal and so on, today when you go online, all these people, he has persecuted them in the public domain.
Okay.
To the extent that today, people see them and see people who are criminals. So it is not the minority alone that is saying that the growing culture of stringent bail conditions will hurt the democracy of this country. Because it will get to a time, if I am Yoko CEO, we're in government, and I don't like you, I will let them arrest you. You spend days, after spending days, we'll leave you. And if you're not careful, the person goes to court today to seek remedies for damages and so on. It is the money that will be used to dig borehole in a hunter that will be used to pay the person because of some inactions of a security person.
Okay, all right. Lawyer, so he's laid the foundation as to why they are called. What's your response?
That's okay. Thanks so much for the opportunity. So you've seen, I never made a hit. I never said anything. I never did any gesture. So please, we need to respect our viewers. When I leave here, comments I get sometimes it's not the best. Please. So let's have a very civil show. Now, you see, first and foremost, it's not true that for the press conferences the AG has held, only 2 are doing. We know the Sky Train is on. Maybe he's forgotten.
The case has started, the Sky Train.
Yes. So 3 years.
It's not just that. Right. We also know that the National Signals Bureau. Also. There are a few others. So it's not the case that. You mentioned
NSC. I said Adubo.
No, please. So let me remind you. You mentioned Woon to me. You didn't mention NSC.
Yes.
So please, I heard you.
Okay.
Now, so it's not true that only 2. There are a few more that are also ongoing. You see, ordinarily, when things happen like this, some of us would have loved to join the call to have things straightened up and corrected. Because, for instance, in my case, or with respect, my view on this is wholly not an approval of what has happened.
Okay.
I don't really approve everything that has happened. And the challenge we have sometimes, let me talk of myself, is the way the commentary is being run. Politicize it. And so it makes some of us now draw back and watch you do your politics. But ordinarily, there are issues. There are questions to ask.
That's why your Minister of Education even went
But when you do pure politics with it makes it difficult for us because we are all politicians. It makes it difficult.
But where's the politics?
So how can you come and say that they just started 1.5 years? You want me to play the record? That is the politics of it. It's been ongoing. We know what has happened. You see, when you play that record to them, then it's as, oh no, so should we also continue like that? So let us admit that Yoko, for years, has been used for this purpose. He mentioned a few ones. Let me just say one, just one, so that we don't. You remember the Collins Dowda case?
Yes.
Do you know the bail condition that was set for Honorable Ajimai Mensah?
Remind me.
Yes, it was $65 million.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So you see, if you come and sit here and then you pontificate as though this thing has just started.
Self-recognizance.
You see, when it happens, like I walk out. Let me be very, very blunt here.
That's why
this thing shouldn't continue.
when you were speaking, he was very quiet. So then when it comes to time, you come.
Self-recognized for Alhaji Collins Dada because he was an MP. If you don't know, I'm talking of Evans Mensah. It was $65 million. If you don't have your fact, don't come and then deceive the people here.
Over how much?
Over what? How?
They were accused of.
No, so if you bring that in, then they have no case. If it's just the accused,
Yeah,
so allow
so
me.
people know.
No, so allow me. This is the point.
Okay.
If you want to bring in how much has been charged on you as having misappropriated, then there is no case here. Because here is 50 million.
Okay.
But I get the argument others are making. Because you see, I would ask a question that, see, even with the 50 million, the claim is that 2 people are being investigated for the 50 million. So why put 50 million on one head? Assuming you are even to share
55 million.
whatever, 55 million.
Yeah.
Do you get the point I'm making?
Yes.
2 people are being investigated for 55 million.
Yeah.
So why put, so if you are even to divide that between the 2, why put 50 million? So if we are to go by your argument that once that charge has been put on you, we can, because that is ideally the way the courts and then those agencies look at bail. But you see, I agree with him that if we are not careful, we may also get someone who may abuse it, just put something that he's stolen this amount of money, thereby creating that room for you to put some hefty conditions on the head, which he cannot obviously fulfill. So that far, I am looking at the institution Yoko and other institutions and not personalize it.
Okay.
A lot has happened over the years. We have a lot of them. I don't want to go back. But you see, when we speak like this, the issue of miracles, I have, at least as a lawyer, let me say this. Look, when there is a legal problem, you don't use politics to resolve it. And that is something, and it is so, sometimes I wonder why my colleagues at the bar, especially, I can forgive those who are not lawyers. They can do all those things. I don't really mind. But as a lawyer, we all know what to do. And it is so straight. The law anticipates that things like this can happen. So they teach us what to do.
By going to the court.
By going to the court.
But must it always be abused?
No, but you see, it depends. And again, we are speaking from our own perspective and not that of Yoko. We are not too sure why they also did what they did. Okay. So it is an independent arbiter that will judge.
Okay.
Yoko will come and, argue the reasons they did what they did. You also argue why you think it cannot be. Then an arbiter. But at the moment, we cannot say they were or they weren't. But from where I sit, I feel that it could also be abused. I'm not saying in this particular instance it was abused. Get me right. But you see, all these issues of everything that is happening today has happened before. And let that be on top. You have done this job. You are here. You can get us if you want to. You are independent. Get into the facts and tell us.
Okay. So
no, I'm not done. If you want me to stop, this
no, I don't want to stop. So
stop it. You've done this media thing for so long. Why do you do this? You heard him, so please, I'm referring to him. If you can't, because you said all sort of you are deceiving the people. What did you see?
What did I do?
Tell him what.
I'm on my phone.
Stop it.
So I shouldn't be on my phone whilst you talk.
Don't stop it.
Why this arrogance? Why this arrogance? I'm on my phone. And you are saying that I should be on my phone. I should be looking at you. Who are you for me to be looking at you when you are talking?
No, hold on.
Who said you should go?
I'm on my phone.
Hold on,
who taught you this?
Hold on.
This guy says I'm not into these things.
This guy is so arrogant and full of himself. Why?
You sat here said all kinds of things. When it got to my turn, you'll be making all these gestures as well. What did you? Who are you? Kojo, watch him. No, these gestures are not the best. He's been doing it.
When you're talking to me, I'll look at you.
No, but he shouldn't be doing these gestures. Tell him.
Okay. It's okay.
Prof, you didn't see him? No. You are independent. You didn't?
If I attend...
You turned and looked at him. Whom are you deceiving? He saw you.
No, it was something in a tent like this. I thought maybe you were prompting.
No, Prof, what did you say?
No, I turned.
Well, because
I think that
because of what you saw.
So it's fine.
Who are talking about arrogance? You, an embodiment of that. You don't know. Ask your back. And that is why I will not go that tangent with you.
But even me, at a point, I thought you had finished those. So
no, I'm not, because of the gesture. Prof saw it, so he looked at him. Ask him.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, maybe
that's why. Yeah.
So you see the issue of miracles. A young man, I don't wish him bad. You see, but the issue of his arrest, nobody can also say that he cannot be called upon to account for his stewardship. Sure. I'm not sure that is what.
No, nobody has said that. No. The only
power of arrest is also constitutional. It is something that Yoko has.
Yeah.
Now, after they've arrested, look, the statement the Yoko came out with, if you read it carefully, they said that they've done some searches with him. If you read it.
Yeah, they say he led them to, yeah.
So it means that they are still investigating. It's not the first time. Where I have a challenge is where there is a claim that his lawyers were not allowed to, see him. If it happened, then it's wrong. Unconstitutional by virtue of Article 14.2 of the Constitution. But I ask questions. Who said he was not allowed to see his lawyers? Or his lawyers were not allowed in? Because the claim has also been made by the same MPP leadership that as at then, they had not even cited miracles. So who told them that miracles had not, or his lawyers had not? And you see, as at yesterday morning, I had only heard the General Secretary, who is also a lawyer, but not Miracle Abuaje's lawyer. I had also heard Nanabi, who is also a lawyer, but not his lawyer.
Yes.
And then I think some of whom are even...
Yesterday morning.
Before yesterday morning.
Because in the evening of today is Wednesday, in the evening of Monday, the attacher spoke.
Yeah, that was when, that was after he had been there and had access to the officers at Yoko. But before we had seen all those comments.
Yeah.
And I have said that Article 14.2 does not give any, obligation to law enforcement agencies to inform any other person of any investigation that is ongoing beyond the claim or the provision that says that his lawyer should be permitted to be with him. So if it is his lawyer, it's fine, but not his political party, whatever. The law is not. And you see, there is also this. So I would want to hear miracles when he's out, because he's the only person who was there, or he was arrested without any other person.
So you're saying his party wouldn't know, his close associate in the party wouldn't know?
No, I'm saying that legally,
yes,
Yoko is not mandated to inform the party.
Yes, and I'm saying that if they have not done that, are you saying
people are saying that they've not cited
exactly? Yes,
they had not cited him at the time. So who told them that Miracle's lawyers had not been allowed?
Maybe they know the lawyer.
Which lawyer? Atachia said that in the afternoon. That morning, did you know Atachia was his lawyer? I have known Bobby Banzin to be the gentleman's
lawyer.
Yes, for some cases. So, as at the morning, did you know it was Atachia?
No, I wouldn't know.
And Atachia had not spoken until the afternoon. Do you get the point I'm making? I'm saying that, you see, I agree. If it happened, it is unconstitutional, it's illegal. But I'm saying, who said what? That's the point I'm making, that, you see, when things happen like this, I want us to come together and say it as it is. But to take the political lane or angle and make sure that you get a lot of political whatever from it, it makes some of us also draw back. But nobody is saying that such unconstitutionality, if it actually happened, is right. I will not sit here and say so. it is the case that it has happened before. Nobody can, I have a lot, if anybody doubts me, I can bring a lot out. But I think that we should move on. So if it happened before, we should not say that it should continue. Okay. So if we have to stop these things, we have to. But let's not also, again, let us also put it out rightly that you see, when you are arrested, you are supposed to be informed of why you were arrested, your right to counsel, and then all that. But it's not everyone that, because you see, once it is also put out there that you've been arrested for this or that, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty. If it is out there like that, someone may also feel that you're embarrassing me. You are putting something out there in public when indeed I'm innocent, because who knows, people may misinterpret whatever has been put there, that, oh, he's a criminal, he said this, he's that. So the person has some right to some privacy of a sort. It is only a court of law when he's been convicted that you may want, or anyone can say anything about whatever it is. But at the moment he's been arrested, it is not an obligation for the law enforcement agencies to put out there. It is only good governance that we feel that the gentleman Miracles is not just anybody at all. So if he's been arrested, the public should know. Draw the line between his right to privacy as against, because we are not too sure whether Miracles would even want this case to be even told the public. You can't tell. If I'm arrested today, I know that, or for whatever reason, I personally may feel that, no, don't put out that information. I'll go through the whatever, and then make sure that I justify my innocence. So it is not law.
You picked him up in a public space.
Sorry?
You picked him up in a public space.
For the last
No, but I'm saying that the fact that I'm picked anywhere doesn't mean that I would prefer or I would want the issues to be told the public.
Okay, all right.
As an individual.
Okay.
So I'm saying that what I'm trying to say is that there is no legal injunction on any law enforcement agency to disclose everything that has happened to the public in terms of arrest.
All right.
But if they so wish, that is why the IOCO has put out what they have put out.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it is a competent court of jurisdiction that would actually assess the situation and come to a decision.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you. This one right here says, good morning, Sam. This government is such a clueless people and who have lied their way into power. How can you arrest, detain someone from whom you said in your press release that he has been cooperating with your office? If this is not an act to silence his voice, then what could that mean? Completely unnecessary action and to slap him with hefty bail conditions. Anyway, we'll survive this. Nana Kamabuating Ablikuma Central, a.k.a. Dr. Baumia, will be president come 2028. Prof.
Yes. So, let me take it this way. We are governing the people. There is a growing concern amongst the people in respect of the way YOCO or some of the state agencies do their things. Some individuals, even in government, are in disapproval of those issues. Who speaks to the institutions involved? Who is supposed to order? Because the heads of those institutions were appointed by people who are actually helping in the government of the people. Is it to the extent that the growing concern hasn't reached where the powers are, or the powers are just silent about the concern? Or does it appear that the concern is coming from only the opposition? I don't think so. Because like the two gentlemen earlier mentioned, including himself, who is a lawyer in his disapproval of some of the aspects of the issues. So it's like generally, the people are not too happy about the way these things are done. In fact, let me even ask that, does the style of the arrest have any impact on the case? When a referee in a football match wants to take you out of the match completely, he does that smiling. The power is in the red card, not in how he frowns his face or how he shouts on the player or whatever. So the issues I'm hearing in public, which I'm also concerned, is in respect of the style of arrest. In fact, I'm yet to hear any Ghanaian concern about somebody being arrested over an allegation or a crime. I'm yet to hear that. I think the concerns have been those two. One, the style of the arrest and the bail conditions. The style of arrest has been criticized largely by many people. I'm not sure it's only the opposition. Many people are not happy about it because it has no bearing on the case, the case itself. Eventually, however you do it, you would still have to appear before a court where the case will be properly opened and the accused would have the opportunity to defend himself. If that is going to be the ultimate, why this style? Why? I don't, seriously, I don't understand. I don't. So the style is a problem. And I think the institutions perpetuating these things must give us an explanation that, Prof, or maybe Ghanaians, we have several styles of doing this arrest. And that when you look at cases like this, we prefer to use style A. Then my question will still be asked that, Yoko or whoever, does the style of arrest have any bearing on the gravity or enormity or potency of the case? And the answer would be no. Elsewhere, soldiers and police officers or people, security forces, are not macho men. In fact, some sections or some parts of the service usually needs bodybuilders and all those things for the purpose of what they do. But most of the intelligent works that are done by Chinese, the Israelis, the forces that we refer to. Senior, if you see the officer, if you see the size of the officer who is doing that level of high-grade intelligence, it is not about body. It is here, upstairs, here. It is not about the gravity of the force you apply on the person you are arresting and how many bullets you shoot in the air. No. Let us not entertain theatrics. It doesn't have any bearing on the enormity or the potency of the case. The case will eventually appear before a judge. Yes. The lawyers for both ends will come and advance their case. It will be determined on the merit of law and procedure, how the Constitution has stated or the applicable laws has prescribed. This is what we are talking about, Okojo. It has nothing. I don't know why they think the nature of the arrest, unless they come and brief us. But for me and where I sit, seriously, it's more of upstairs and being intelligent and smart about things, and not to demonstrate some drama as if it has a relation or a bearing or an impact on the case. Okay. They should think about that. And then the bail conditions, Kojo. It happened in the past. It is happening now. People are talking about it. Again, I ask, is someone up there not concerned? Because I do not think the intention of whoever is prescribing those bail conditions is to recover the alleged misappropriation. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer is here, but I do not think that whoever was doing the calculation to prescribe that, pay this as a bail condition or an amount of to free yourself or go under bail, did that calculation to recover what has been alleged to have been stolen. That cannot be I still insist I'm not a lawyer, but that cannot be the brain behind granting somebody bail. It means you have already concluded the case. If you are putting a bail condition that is closely almost equal to the alleged amount, then you have actually in your office there completed the case. In fact, you are going to keep that money there on chances. If it is, if the case is lost by the accused, perhaps then you have a point to say that is why I knew I was going to. But there are many cases that goes to court, and not all of them ends in favor of the one who accused the person. And the basic fundamental thing I know, not as a lawyer, but I know is the mindset behind bail conditions is to perhaps secure your availability throughout the process. Yes. They do that in many, many forms. they seize your passport, you can't travel out of the country, they put you on stop list and all those things. Those things are to secure your presence and ensure that you avail yourself for the process. After the court has pronounced you guilty, that one, the appropriate punishment has already been prescribed, because if the offense and its appropriate punishment is already not prescribed, that thing is first of all not an offense. So let the person go through the process. If he is found guilty, it is already prescribed. This is the charge. For this charge, this is the punishment that goes with it. And the lawyers do all these things, that something is not an offense unless it is stated. And the corresponding punishment thereon is also stated prior to the committal of that offense.
Yeah.
So why do we speed up ahead of the whole thing with this bail condition? I wouldn't have a problem with the amounts we are quoting here.
Yes.
But the people are saying that, Charlie, now where it is getting to, we might want to one day perhaps, and I saw a slide, one of the aspirants of the NDC MPP General Secretary, saying that at a point they may demand the original cross of Christ, the original one.
In fact,
where are you going to get the original?
I have seen Sammy Aoku say that NDC appointees would have to cross the T's and I's because of what they have.
So seriously, me, I don't care the political bit. I know, in many forms, people may want to mop up sentiments from the people and all those things. But when you put all those things aside, let the institutions perpetuating these things also know that, the general public somehow aren't too happy about what they are doing, and that the amount of bail condition or the style in which you arrest the person, in my view, has no effect on the potency of the case. Let the case be, and you see, they say empty cans usually make the loudest noise. Professor Benoni Kegodo, may his soul rest in peace, one of my academic advisors, he told me that, Prof, your most important point or your most important findings rather should be communicated or should be carried out in a very quiet, gentle way. People can follow. Don't create noise around what you think is the most important part of the entire exercise we are doing. So those who are in charge, I don't know whether whether they fall under National Security or the Interior Ministry or whatever, their bosses must come in, not to join us.
Ayine.
Dr. Ayine. Add the doctor, is a very important.
Okay.
Their bosses must come in.
Okay.
We must see somebody cautioning them that, Charlie, this thing, the general public are concerned about it. So maybe modify it or do it. You are serving the people. At the end of the day, it's the people you are serving.
Okay. All right.
Then let me land on this, Kojo. Let me land on this. We must be truthful to ourselves. There are people who have been invited to Yoko quietly.
Yeah.
Quietly. So my question is it that is the individual the determinant of the style?
Or what is?
Or is every offense not an offense?
Every offense.
So why is it that for some people, and I don't want to mention this, we know they are seniors and all those things. Some of them actually came out in public, so I've been attending to Yoko and all those things we heard. To those, you invited, you were very professional, polite with them. We are not even having update of their cases, but we know their cases are going. But for some, selected some, you would want to put some drama around it.
Okay, all right.
Why? Are some more humans than others? Do you get it? Are we in that animal farm system where this person must be treated with caution, but this person, then let's throw him out there, let's make fun of him, let's embarrass him, kind of. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So if they are going to be consistent with their mode of arrest, they should be consistent. If not, people will raise questions as to why for this one you gently invited him, but for this one you are creating a scene. Do you get it?
Yeah.
All those things are issues of concern. I think Yoko must take into We want to grow our institution, we want to correct our mistakes. Let's take these things into consideration.
Okay, all right. I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Dr. Asante first. Doc, so people say that we should be worried about what's happening because there could be future consequences for for other people who may be picked up in the future. Is it your worry as well? How do we even get it right on that score?
All legal wrongs are wrongs. It doesn't matter when it starts. So as a society, if there's something wrong with this system, mode of arrest, bail conditions and all that, we should fix it as a society. Because you see, democracy hinges on rule of law. Once you have a problem with the law in its application, you need to fix that if you want to sustain democracy. So for me, when there are issues like that, I don't want people's right to be abused. No. And I want the right questions asked, so that at the end of the day, those who go through the process will know that they are going through a due process. And whatever comes out, they themselves will know that they either accept or appeal or move on. My always interest is that if you want democracy to survive, then your approach to doing things must be right. And that you also have the right to ask questions when the need arises. So that you give everything when you are all is said and done to the courts. And then the court decide which direction we as a society must see the case from. So for me, that is all that I want to see. That those who are involved, the person involved in this matter will not have his right abused. And that is also, if there are questions, the questions are posed to him at the appropriate forum, and then he has all there is to it to be able to answer. For me, once we get that, then we are getting the basis of democracy.
Okay.
Anything short of this becomes an aberration, and it creates problems for society in the future, and it creates problems for what? The system we are practicing, and then what? The general humanity that we are talking about.
Okay. So once people say there are issues with the bail conditions, you think as a society we need to correct it if we have issues with it?
We need to, because you see, I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding of the law is that it's a useful instrument to regulate human conduct. So if it becomes something that affects human lives and all that, then the law becomes problematic. We need to look at it. So all the time, that is why you see law goes through a lot of reforms. And in all institutions, for that matter, also go through reform. So you look at some practices, some procedures, some norms, and those are the things I'm talking about, institutions. When you realize that they are not the best, they don't serve the purpose for which those laws have to be created or defined, then obviously there is a problem that we need to fix. We have a problem on our hand. Okay. So we have to look at all these things if we want to get the basics of democracy right.
Right, okay. Well, let's just do a minute each, and then we can move on to the other issues.
It is not true that in the past, Yoko had held people and given even bail conditions. It is not true. We had 3 Yoko officers when we took over between 2017 and 2024. The first one was Mr. Keke Amwa, who served for 2 years and a seasoned investigator. In fact, he started the Sedina and Tamakulo investigation and the NCA. Then the second one was ACP Adupuku, retired. Then Mamitiwa Adodankwa. They did 3 important cases. They did the Sedina and Tamakulo, they did the Sagleme, and the NCA scandal. Throughout the investigation process, they never held any of them even for a day. The difference between what is happening today and what happened in the past, especially with Sagleme, is that they finished all the investigation and presented it before court. It was the court that granted them bail, not Yoko.
So you're not disputing,
in this case,
you're not disputing the $65 million.
I'm not. But you see,
that was placed.
It was a court that placed it.
Okay.
But when you see with this current happenings with Yoko, he will give you 800 million and go and sleep. You can't go for a review unless you go to a court. But in our case, almost all the cases were held in court. So it is not true that Yoko is a standard practice in Yoko. You want to cite examples. You don't have any example. There is no single example. Even when under the NDC 1, there is no single example that Yoko started investigation and detained people for even a day. They never detain them. They will finish the investigation, then they will present it before a court. Then the court will grant them bail. Now, with the 65 million, the condition is that 3 sureties. 1, to be justified as a public servant. And they were able to meet it that day. And this is a sum of $200 million. $200 million is the sum of the total contract. But he was given 65 million with 3 sureties, 1 to be justified with as a public servant. You understand? And in these cases, they are telling us that bring landed properties. You understand? That is the difference. In the court, they will tell you that 65 million, 3 sureties, 1 to be justified. However, you are able to really meet the conditions, that is fine. Whether it is in cash, whether it is in landed properties and so on. But this one, it is specified that with landed properties, look at the Miracles one. They said 3 sureties, 2 to be justified with landed properties. So these are the difference. And again, you see, this high-handedness that they are using to do, that's why I am happy that the professor is saying that let's fix it. Because you see, at a point in time, you will pronounce people guilty, they will go to court and win, and if they are minded to go, as I said earlier, they can go and seek for damages, and it will hurt our economy.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Now listen, when people do not have their fact, they tend to some of these things. The topic you gave us was onerous bail conditions. Except people who do not know, go and read the Yoko Act, whether they have that power to do what they did or not.
Did I mention that?
Stop.
Let me just chip in. In my first, I said that they have the mandate to do it, but they never used it until this man came.
That's fine. I continue.
So it is for somebody who doesn't know, who will talk about Yoko not doing or doing something. Look at Yoko law before you talk. This is Joy News.
No,
please, it's not about his. You gave us onerous bail condition. Could you allow me?
But you're reacting to what he said.
No, so let me do what I heard him say.
But if you're reacting, why wouldn't you react to that? He says Yoko never did that in the past. Is that true or not so? He said Yoko never put bail conditions on people who scored that date.
Yoko has a mandate. So? If yesterday, assuming if yesterday they thought that it wasn't necessary, it is only when we are talking law. You are talking about something.
But you said it happened in the past. You lied that it happened in the past. You want to cite examples, but you don't want to cite. And that was the reason I told you that it's not true. You peddle falsehood. And it's a lie that indeed in the past Yoko did that. Yoko never did that.
That's fine. He says that it is in the law, so it wasn't.
Yeah, it's in the law. I mentioned it. Even my first submission, I mentioned it's in the law.
Lawyer, please proceed.
But they never used it.
You don't.
They only send it to court. But you can walk out if you want.
Awal, it's okay.
You're not representing me.
Awal, it's okay. Awal, it's okay.
You can walk out if you want.
Awal,
you're not representing me.
Awal, no. That's
let me walk out.
Yeah, you're not representing me. I didn't invite you.
But you heard me say no.
If you lie, we have to point it out. This is Joy News. This is Joy News.
I have said no to him. Why are you saying I'm colluding with him?
But how can you allow somebody? This thing happens all the time. Who does that?
But lawyer, you have to appreciate that.
Appreciate what?
I cannot close his mouth.
So you should.
When he says, I will say, no, don't do it. I'll try and control him. So
people who don't read, come sit here and say that Yoko has done A, B, C, D. Hold it. If you even what he said, it is false for anybody to tell you. Maybe, well, I understand because he doesn't know law. Listen, for anybody to tell you that when we say to be justified, his understanding is public servant. Let me read graphic online to you. Please, let me read what...
Why would you misconstrue my words and think I should just keep quiet? Did I say that?
Let him...
So when he responded to me, I didn't have a right to interject.
No.
What he essentially did, because you don't know who hosts the program well. When he was reacting to me, you thought that I didn't have anything to say.
I stopped him and I said, you should have your time. That's what I was saying.
Now, on the 6th day of August 2021, Saglami Housing Bruhaha, Collins Zalda, 4 others granted bail. If you read graphic online, so people who don't know would only come and peddle falsehood. When you are, let me even give an education for who when you are admitted to bail and they say that sureties to be justified. In fact, this one was even more onerous because with the justification, they said 3. If you read graphic online, the 3, one of them must also be a public servant. The 2 to be justified, it is with landed property. People should go and read.
It's not there.
Okay,
let me read it to you. Yeah. Every lawyer knows this. When you say to be justified, it's landed property. It is not your clothing. Now, listen. I think it's about the 6th paragraph. Dr. Evans Mensah and Alhaji Yakubu were granted bail in the sum of 65 million each and 8 CD equivalent with 3 sureties, one of whom must be a public servant. So you should ask what the other 2 would have to do. So listen. Clocanas was granted bail in the sum of $179 million. Or 8 CD equivalent with 3 sureties, one of whom must be a public servant or civil servant, while Angelo was granted bail in the sum of $13 million with 3 sureties, one of whom shall be a public or civil servant. The sureties are to deposit proof of landed properties at the court credit. So people who don't know would only shout. Every lawyer knows it, that if you are admitted to bail with surety to be justified, it's landed property, it's not your shirt. Ask every lawyer. If you don't know, you don't know. You are saying, look, and Yoko performs that judicial, how do you call it? Administrative judicial functions at this point, if you don't know. And if Yoko says anything and you disagree, it is not you shouting. You go to court and have it set aside. If any court, like what they did with the Saglemi thing, even the court, when he admits you to bail and gives conditions and you think it's onerous, you go a step further. What is the issue here? But if we are saying as a country that everybody or anybody that is arrested should not have bail that needs to be what do you call it, onerous or to be justified, that is all of us saying. So we don't need to belabor the point. At the end of the day, yes, I have sat here and it is not very common that I sit here representing the government and I tell you that I have issues. Don't you appreciate it? I have issues, but don't politicize it.
Okay.
Because the onerosity of bail conditions, it didn't just start.
Okay.
$179 million. And then $179 million.
Okay. All right.
No, this is what has happened before. $179 million. And you say, no, don't talk about that one.
By a court and not an individual sitting in.
If you understand and read, you understand that Yoko at that stage performs a judicial function. Read the Yoko Act. If you disagree, you know what to do. It could even be the CID. It could be anyone.
Okay. All right.
So there is no issue. I am saying, and you see, when things happen like this and people are talking, we should also admit that we are individuals. For all you know, you may even be saying things. Look, it started with Wontumi. They arrested Wontumi. It's because he's been speaking against the government. Because you hate him. And today, Wontumi is seeking plea bargain. And let nobody deceive you.
Okay.
Plea bargain means you are guilty.
Okay.
Go and read section 162H
All right.
of the Amendment Act.
Okay.
It means you are guilty.
Thank you.
And here we are. So please, Miracle has his private life. He may know you know what you do not know. Relax. Let him go through the process. I know. I'm even hearing he's been released.
Yes.
Yes. So what is the issue? But I would say
he met the bail conditions, not he been released. He met the bail conditions. It is not unlike
Hanan, you guys. I need to
not
make
meet
progress.
the bail condition, but they eventually.
It's fine. It's okay.
Because he said he will remain there.
Okay. I only said we should spend a minute each on this. So let's make progress. Now, GN Bank was set for a comeback. I mean, Dr. Ndum even announced that they are going to set the first branch in, I think, Elmina. But yesterday, the Supreme Court put brakes on that and said, no, they should hold on. So they suspended the reopening of GN Bank till they are done with other issues. Dr. Asante, do I still have you? Okay, Doc is gone. Let me start with the lawyer on this one as well. Lawyer Bedu. I mean, GN Bank had its license restored by, I think it was the Court of Appeals. But the Supreme Court says no. What's happening here?
Oh, so it's a simple one. And
okay.
I wouldn't want to go into the merits of
okay.
it, even though I know some stuff in it. But because the Supreme Court is seized with the matter, we should be careful. This is joy news. You never know whether it's Supreme Court judges.
They are watching actually.
Tomorrow you are not held before them to answer. And of course, I should know better as a practitioner. Now, what has happened is a simple one. Yes, the Court of Appeal heard the matter, and then they granted the request of GN Bank to have its license restored. Soon thereafter, the Bank of Ghana went to the Supreme Court to appeal against that decision. Normally, when there is an appeal, practitioners know that you file what is called stay of execution. Usually, because you see, if you don't do that, the process will continue, because until you file and it is granted, there is a decision and it has to be followed through. So if you are not careful, by the time you realize things may have happened and you will not, but you see, the court, the fact that you even file doesn't mean the execution should be halted. The court should look at it and make sure that you have a case. What the appeal that you brought to you have made a case that needs a certain interrogation, because the court is of the view that once a decision is given, it must be followed through. But if you appeal and you convince the court that the basis for Bank of Ghana's appeal is law. They I've read a few documents or processes in this case, and they claim the Court of Appeal was wrong in law.
Okay.
I wouldn't say much. And so the Supreme Court has looked at it, and they are of the view that no, there is a matter to look at. And so that application to have the execution stayed has now been granted. It doesn't mean that there is a decision that their license will not be. At the moment, there is still a decision of the Court of Appeal which has not been reversed or whatever. So at the moment, the court is saying that stay, hold on, don't grant or don't issue the license yet. Let us look at the matter. So GM Bank will still be in court to prosecute its matter, defend its position. Because you see, the point really is this. In any case, who was to grant the license, to issue the license?
Bank of Ghana.
Who is in the Supreme Court?
Bank of Ghana.
So I think that let's stay back and look. I have my personal opinion, but because the Supreme Court is
actually
the matter.
On the day the Court of Appeals gave that ruling, I spoke to a banking consultant on top story, and he said that he knows that the Bank of Ghana will go, and when they go, he's sure they will win that.
That scores the point that as a country, as a state, institutions run irrespective of political parties that are in power. Because this was an action taken by the previous government. But the current government or the current Bank of Ghana
governor or management
thinks that it is the way to go. And that is what we should try to always, so that our institutions grow beyond partisanship. Whatever it is, regardless of which government was or is in power, the procedure and whatever they have been doing that is right must continue.
They've taken a recent decision, Bank of Ghana. They revoked the license of, I think it's ZPay also.
I commend that. It's not about whether GN deserves or does not, but I commend the continuity of whatever. It tells that the Bank of Ghana is growing beyond partisanship, and I'm happy.
Prof.
Yes. So before I come to that, we're still in the professional field, and the Statistician Fraternity of Ghana, our godfather or president is Professor N. Nsuwa Nyama.
And Nsowa Nuyama.
Nsowa Nuyama.
Okay.
Nicholas Nicodemus Nana Nsowa Nuyama. I greet him. I was fortunate to have him as my personal statistics coach.
Okay.
Supervised my PhD. He's guided me throughout all my statistical endeavor.
I'm coming. You said so is Nsowa.
Yes. So
wow, that's serious.
Nicholas.
Professor 5N.
Nicodemus.
Okay.
Nana. Nsowa Nuyama. I greet him.
Wow.
He's the president of South Shore, formerly Dominion University.
Okay.
Action Chapel. So he's raised a thought-provoking conversation, and he thinks that the disbelief of the citizens in the data that comes from Ghana Statistical Service. Sometimes you hear inflation, they say they are lying. When you hear GDP, they say they've cooked it to favor government. He thinks that one of the reasons why the citizens do that is because we call them, the bosses, we call them government's statistician. So it's like they are doing everything to suit the government of the day. And so just as we call the Auditor General, which has no nomenclature relation with the government of the day, and they do their work and it is discussed by Parliament and everything genuinely, he thinks that it is time we change the name. That name was given to us by the colonial masters. And at that colonial time, the statisticians then were actually working for the government.
Okay.
But times have changed, and in all democracy, statisticians, they work generally. So he thinks that it is time we change the name from government statistician to statistician general.
Okay. But I think
yes,
the government statistician used to be independent,
yes,
almost all the time, until recently when Professor Nim was removed. And I think this is the first time a statistician was removed and replaced by another one.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, Grace Bediako came through all the administrations from Kufuor, Mills, and retired under Mahama.
I like your...
But
you understand?
But if she retired under Mahama, then Mahama would have appointed someone.
She retired, yeah, he appointed someone.
Yeah. Yes.
Someone was appointed. And that person also, that is Wadier also, he also retired. Then another was until Professor Enim was just removed and replaced by Professor Lassa.
All right.
I know. But I mean, when you say statistician has been replaced by, statistics is a very broad field.
No, I'm talking about the government statistician.
Al Hassan is a statistician.
Yes.
You can call him a financial statistician. Enim is a statistician. He is an econometrist, an economic statistician. Statistics is like
I'm talking about you hearing change of government and you see the change of the government statistician.
Anyway,
this is the first time it has happened.
The permission to, explain some of these things, but it could also be, just by the way, it could also be that perhaps the very good Professor Enim was already...
he was not on retirement, I know the story.
Intending to leave. I'm not talking about...
Anyway, let's move on. We are talking about...
So what I'm saying on this platform is that, lawyer, you are here, you are in Parliament. If it comes up, or if it is worth considering, let us detach the government thing. It makes people think that they cook data that is determined to them by the finance minister or by the president or by whoever is the head of government. Let them be statistician generals, like the Auditor General, and then we know that they are doing their work as they should. In fact, the misconception people have about inflation. Usually I ask you, when they say inflation has fallen from 24% to 5%, what does it mean? It means a car, for example, the car is speeding at 24 kilometers per hour, is now speeding at 5 kilometers per hour. It tells you the car is still moving. Just that the rate at which it is moving is slowing. And all these things. Basic, but when it comes up, usually you see the political twist to it. This one takes it here, this one takes it. Instead of going into the data and see where to correct. Okay. Elsewhere, my last point on that.
Prof.
Let me come to GN Bank. GN Bank, like lawyer have said, for me, I will applaud the Bank of Ghana. They are the head. Dr. Siama is part of the government, kind of. But then they won't put their professionalism aside just because it was a political promise in the past that when we come,
restore your license.
Restore your license. Professionals That's why I always recommend that let's bring more professionals into government. At least his professionalism would save some things. They won't do things like a wholesale like that. No professional will just do things wholesale without paying attention to some details in there. In fact, I'm not prophesying doom or perhaps not wishing GM Bank well, but until the Bank of Ghana, professionals in there are convinced that a step to restoring the license is in the right order professionally, it will be very difficult for any political influence to say, put aside all the things you have gone to learn in school, Dr. Siama, you get it, put aside every professionalism, you know, the banking consultants and all those things at Bank of Ghana. Yes, this is an error, but forget it, put it aside. They will not. It will be very difficult to do that. So let's applaud the Bank of Ghana and let's give the law courts the time to interrogate the matter. We wish GN Bank well, but I stand here to say that it is not going to come on the blind side of professionals who are committed to keeping the standards. And until the standards are cleared or the way is clear professionally, it will be difficult. It can't be just on the promise of a political promise that your license is restored. Then let's take this into the future and say, when a politician tells you something and it is related to a certain professional, please, you too start doing your homework and make sure by the professional standards you fit to. If not, when you go there, the Bank of Ghana will meet you squarely with the details.
Bold, credible, and fearless journalism. That is what we stand for. Duty bearers and citizens know that they'll be asked the hard questions to bring out the truth. That is what we expect of us. It is this commitment to tell truth to power that sets us apart, because we will hold the feet of leadership to the heat of accountability. My name is Evans Mensah, and this is Joy News. Fearless, independent, and credible.
Okay, all right.
I think this issue has two dimensions. One, the political dimension, and secondly, the technical dimension. The political dimension is that when these banks were closed, the NDC used it as a campaign tool to say that Akufo-Addo closed the banks because he's callous. To the extent that when you read the NDC's manifesto, they even put it in the 2024 manifesto that when they come, they will restore the licenses for those who are affected, who were affected at that time. So that is the reason this one has become a political issue. Now, when you look at the issues, when it broke that indeed, the story, news broke just about a month ago, that Court of Appeals has really restored their license, and they had ordered that they should take steps to release all their assets to them and so on. I remember I listened to your program and you spoke to Nana Otuechampong, that is the banking consultant, who said that looking at the facts of the case, it will be difficult for them to really operate. He went ahead to say that if Bank of Ghana is to appeal, he even said that he gave the hint that Bank of Ghana will appeal.
Yes.
Because if you look at the ruling, if you read through the ruling and you look at how that license was revoked, Bank of Ghana did not do anything untoward. And it is clear that indeed when you listen to the reasons why at that time that license was revoked, they were cogent, and Bank of Ghana really enumerated them before they even revoked the license. It was Indum who went to the High Court to challenge Bank of Ghana's decision, and the High Court ruled against him. It is not Bank of Ghana that went to court. It was Indum who went to to the High Court to challenge what the Bank of Ghana had done, and the court reaffirmed and said that indeed Bank of Ghana did the right thing, because you see, capital adequacy ratio of the bank was supposed to be in a positive. It came down to negative 61%. They closed about 70 branches without recourse to Bank of Ghana. You can't close even a single branch without recourse to Bank of Ghana. They closed about 70. They did not have cash. We all saw these stories. You saw people going to the banks and they were turned out without monies. We at YEA at a point in time were paying our Arabic instructors through GN Bank. And a lot of them called and said that they go to the bank and the monies were not there, but we will instruct them that we've paid the monies and so on. So these are open secrets that we all know. But you see, it took a political twist. And that is the reason we're where we are today. Or else this one will have been a necessary administrative and legal battle between Bank of Ghana and the GN Bank, because GN Bank felt that they were not treated fairly. They went to court and lost. They went for an appeal. And during that process, he went and met the current president, at that time former president, and presented his issues to him. And the president told the world that if he is elected as president, he will make sure that it is restored. And when the Court of Appeals gave that ruling about a month ago, you said the jubilation over, to the extent that a deputy communications director at the office of the president, Shamima Muslim, had to say that the president is not vindictive. It means Akufo-Addo was vindictive when at the time that the license was revoked, he was president. So he was vindictive. When you know that Bank of Ghana did their work as Bank of Ghana. So I was not surprised that they did the appeal, and now there is a stay, that they should stay until the determination of the case. We'll wait to see the outcome of the case. But I believe that those who are saying that you don't feel sympathy, yesterday I wrote about it on my Facebook page. They said, oh, you are happy the license has not been revoked and so on. If the government hadn't taken the bitter pill of doing the banking cleanup exercise, we wouldn't know where we are today.
Okay.
Because when DKM happened, thousands of people lost their lives. The president the government took the decision to do banking cleanup exercise so that they could safeguard at least 2.4 million people's savings.
So you meant to say thousands of people lost their livelihoods or lost
even
their lives?
Even their lives around Techimai and the north and so on. Those who lost their entire livelihood had to lose their lives. There are stories of people who lost their lives because their entire livelihood were gone through the DKM thing. And we couldn't really get them anything. But this one, there is no single bank that was collapsed. It was consolidated into Consolidated Bank of Ghana. And today, all their monies were intact. Nobody lost a dime in that. It is the banks. And again, at least we saw in the ruling of Akufo-Addo that indeed, if government hadn't done that, you have stolen deposited accounts, because the court ruling is that he stole the deposited accounts, funds. And he pleaded guilty to doing that. And he was supposed to pay around 90 million. He paid 30 million. After paying 30 million, he couldn't pay. He was committed to jail term. Now, I'm told he has been granted bail quite recently and so on. And the case is still ongoing. So the government took the best decision in the best interest of this country, in the best interest of depositors. And we were not vindictive, because GN Bank got its first license under Akufo. You got it to start operating. He got it under Akufo. So why will a government that gave that they gave license to him will have to revoke? The man served under an MPP government as a minister.
Okay.
Before he even started the bank.
Okay.
And so on.
All right.
So we're not being vindictive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Could you?
Yes.
It has to be put on record that there is no record anywhere that says that thousands lost their lives. If livelihoods, I would be okay, but thousands is not true. Now, the other issue, we are individuals. There are things I know, a lot I disagree with what the presentation that has been made by my brother. But because the matter, don't forget, there is no finality to this matter. So all the claims in doom, as I've also read his lawyers, are opposed to a lot of these claims. A lot of them. But if you've read, if it's not just politics and you've read what is in court, you know that the Bank of Ghana is in the Supreme Court mainly on technical grounds, law. And it's important. If you've read the processes, you will not do the usual politics with it. They are in court not because of these claims, but pure law, that the Court of Appeal erred in law deciding the case.
But how did they err in law?
No, but that is what is before the Supreme Court. Relax. You want to push me there? No, I've read processes in there. I'm saying that the basis for the Supreme Court action by the Bank of Ghana. And let me also say, nobody has said here, at least not here, that it was the Bank of Ghana that went to court. The process started from the High Court, we all know. But it is the Indum that went to the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
And appealed.
Yeah.
And now the Court of Appeal ruled for Indum. And now the Bank of Ghana has also appealed against the Court of Appeal decision. And the main grounds is law.
Yes.
And I'm saying that if you've read their basis of the appeal, that the notice of appeal, they are saying the Court of Appeal erred in law.
Yes.
And that is why they are in the Supreme Court. Let's wait. At the moment, the Supreme Court has seized with the matter and has seen that there is a matter to trial. That is why they have stayed execution of the Court of Appeal decision. But for that, they would have gone through, and it is also not the case.
But why would they say the Court of Appeal erred in law?
It happens.
When they know that the process they took to revoke the license has legal basis.
The process
and was affirmed by
the processes that BOG took to revoke the license of GN Bank. They followed legal procedure, right, to revoke it.
Yeah.
And that's why when the Court of Appeal...
They followed legal procedure in revoking it.
In revoking it.
Yeah, and have you read the Court of Appeal decision?
No, I'm saying that...
Hold it. The bank, the High Court
ruled
in favor, which has been set aside by the Court of Appeal. So currently the decision, the decision in the Indum case is the Court of Appeal decision.
Yes.
You don't even cite Bank of... Which decision does not agree with the revocation of the license.
Yes.
The Supreme Court is yet to rule on it.
Exactly.
Currently, the law is that Indum's license was improperly revoked.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand that.
So there is no issue.
No, there's no issue. I'm just saying that the BOG believes that the process it took, because all of this is emanating from the process.
And the Supreme Court is yet to rule on that. So that is it. But let me also say it is nowhere. You can Google and see President Muhammad did not directly assure that I will restore. He said he took the petition and said we will look into it. And he raised issues that it was done hurriedly in revoking and all that. We've had our issues with it. I don't want us to, you see, we can't politicize everything in this country. And sometimes when we come to sit here, we are professionals before we also becoming politicians. So the bank, look, as we speak, a lot of depositors, even the Indum himself, is his investment. Let us raise the bar. At the moment the Supreme Court is seized with the matter, let the Supreme Court bring finality to it. Sometimes even the Supreme Court may split. I mean, the bench may split and a review may be necessary. Let us go through the full whole so that as a country, we will move on. This one, for me, it's really not something we should dwell so much time.
Okay. Okay, so this is from citynewsroom.com. It says, The Director of Business Operations at Delex Finance, Joe Jackson, says it is practically impossible for future governments to restore the licenses of banks collapsed a few years ago. His comment comes on the back of a promise by former President John Dramani Mahama to restore the banking license that he said were unjustly cancelled by Akufo-Addo's government if elected in the 2024 general elections. The flag bearer of the NDC further pledged to ensure that experienced people who lost their jobs in the wake of the cleanup in the banking sector will get their jobs back. Quote, "We will restore indigenous investment in banking and investment sector. We will create a tiered banking system that will serve
what?
We will restore indigenous investment and the banking and investment sector. We will create a tiered banking system that will serve the various segments of the market. We will give an opportunity for experienced banking hands who were laid off to secure their careers once more and move away from the menial jobs before as practicable. The banking licenses that were unjustly cancelled by this government will be restored." Mr. Mahama. That's what he said, and this is 2020.
Is that the last one? Read the last one.
Okay, the last part. Yes. As far as practicable, the banking licenses that were unjustly cancelled by this government will be restored,
So
Mr. Mahama said.
So you have to first surmount the hurdle of determining whether it was justly
or unjustly.
or not. Do you understand? So if you want to even interrogate what has been put out there, I'm saying that, you see, even sometimes you may see things from behind.
Okay.
When you come into the fray, you get to understand things better, because sometimes we all speak from position of ignorance. Let's be very honest to ourselves. You come and then you realize that, oh, okay, so this thing was done this way or that way. I don't think it's really a matter we need to.
Kojo,
Right.
they had people like Dr. Asiama, who has worked at Bank of Ghana at the time. People like Asiama ordered for the quality asset review of 2025 that says that about 10 banks were distressed. And that was the reason Dr. Bawumia, at the time, at Central University, said that 10 banks may collapse if government doesn't resuscitate them. You remember?
So 2015.
It's 2015, yeah.
You understand? He said 10 banks will collapse. So when we came, the first thing we did, because we knew that those banks were distressed, and the Bank of Ghana really listened to Dr. Bawumia. They started supporting the banks, giving them liquidity supports and so on. After that, when we took over, we saw that they were mismanaging the support that Bank of Ghana gave them. And that was the reason first 5 months of our administration, we had to let GCB take over 2 banks, Capital Bank and UT, just in a drama, so that at least they will safeguard the deposited funds. Then we started prosecuting the 2 individuals involved. Then we felt that the rest of the banks, the situation is becoming so murkier that people are opening banks without necessarily having a lot of capital. So that was the reason we had to give them up to the end of that year to recapitalize to 400 million. Some were not able to meet it, including GN Bank. Sahel Sahara, Omni Bank, and so on had to come together and form Omnisec. And some others merged. GN Bank decided not to merge. He says he will not merge. He didn't get the capital adequacy. He will not the capital threshold. He will not merge. He wanted a downgrade to GN Savings and Loans, and that was accepted. After it was accepted, the bank continued to suffer. People go there and they do not get their funds. He closed 70 banks according to Bank of Ghana, which is not in dispute. Branches, which was not in dispute. His only reasons were that he had around 7.1 billion Ghana cedi with the government because he gave contractors some amounts of money and so on. That was the reason after the revocation of that license, he went to the High Court to challenge Bank of Ghana. That why did you revoke my license because I have these issues? He went to the the High Court, and the High Court listened to Bank of Ghana, and they said Bank of Ghana did the right thing until the case, the appeals court did their ruling. So indeed, we are all waiting for what the Supreme Court will say. But I don't want to be prejudicial.
Okay.
But I believe that it will be difficult for a restoration.
Okay. All right then. This one says, lawyer, this is for you, so please listen to it. The lawyer Bediako is contradicting himself. If he knows that Bobby Banson is Miracle's lawyer, then it even confirms the argument that they didn't allow him access to his lawyer because Bobby Banson couldn't also get in touch with Miracles.
Have you heard Bobby Banson?
No, I haven't.
So where is this coming?
I haven't.
Has he said?
He says, I'll let me just complete. So there you go. He says, I heard him ask that question. Who told them they didn't give him access to his lawyer? On so many shows, but it doesn't hold at all. He should just stop asking the question because that is a fact and no one needs to be told. Master Planner, Junior Policy Analyst,
does he know what the fact is? Who is saying it? You, Kojo, you sit here. Yeah. I'm asking you, who told you? Which lawyer claimed that I am lawyer for, what's his name? Miracles, and I was denied entry before Atachia came in? Which lawyer told you that? So please, you should listen before.
Okay. This one says, Anokwa. Today, NDC is happy with the continuity of the actions of BOG in appealing the Court of Appeal decision. Oh, so the closure of GN Bank was, after all, not an MPP witch hunt? These people. So if the Supreme Court finds that the Court of Appeal, in fact, erred in law, what will be the effect? That's a question that a viewer.
If the Court of Appeal erred in law, then it means whatever decision
the High Court has taken.
Not necessarily. The Supreme Court may also give its own decision separate from. So, but what it means is that they would set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal and give their own consequential.
Okay. All right. That's it. This is still the AM show. Paul Afoko has launched the official bid for the MPP chairmanship. We're asking, is he able to cause a stir? Prof, let me start with you. This is your forte.
Yeah, he's been through this exercise before, and he was successful against very active members of his like in that national contest they did in, I think, 2014? 2014, yes. Yeah, also.
At Tamale, yes.
At Tamale, 2014. He did very well. In that exercise, the entire 3 northern regions then were overwhelmingly behind him.
Yeah,
I want to see if this time he would get that overwhelming support from the current 5 northern regions, because if you check the results from the northern regions at that time, it was just too massive. He just needed few votes from the south. Ashanti went for him and all those things, and he won the national chairmanship. So he's been through the exercise before, and in that initial exercise he was successful, and so he comes with that experience. Only that his term was short-lived. He had to appear before disciplinary committee, disciplinary issues here and there, and he had to take a backstage. I am sure that question would be asked him when he starts visiting the people, and he would have to answer it. In my view, it is both a plus and a minus situation, because even if he was found guilty for any indisciplinary action, his attitude and susceptibility to the disciplinary outcome, for me, is applaudable. Many people would have done unthinkable things, and we know some of them, not only in MPP, but both in NDC and MPP. Sometimes when you call people to submit themselves to disciplinary issues, they can leave the party, they can cross carpet or something just to avoid. They can sometimes even decide to remain in the party, but be a nuisance, disturb you. Sometimes they will not be in the party and be nuisance. They will not cross carpet. They will not leave the party, but they will be doing underground activity against the party. But we do not have these memories of him. He kept himself that gentleman. He sat aside. I mean, as far as I know and we all observed, he didn't cause any stir publicly or whatever. He respected himself. You see, he's a gentleman. You see him, an elitist gentleman type of, not that which those things can be associated with. So he should expect those questions, and I'm sure he can answer. From some of us sitting aside, we admire the way he conducted himself after that disciplinary measure was taken against him. And I don't know how much he worked while he was serving that disciplinary term, but I mean, I could think that once he didn't work against the MPP, it means he worked for the MPP, because in politics, no vote goes waste. If it doesn't come to you, it means the other party has gotten it, and I think he conducted himself well. Currently, I think what may be a challenge, a small challenge for him, is the homeland of the flag bearer. The leader is from Northeast, and he is from Upper East. They're just boundary across each other.
But yesterday he gave a response to that.
Yes.
He said at the time the NPP had Peter McMenu as its chairman.
Yes.
Peter McMenu is from the Ashanti region.
But known Western.
Western, yes, but I mean he was a chairman for Western region at a point. But he says Peter McMenu is from the Ashanti region. That time, President John Akufo-Addo was from the Ashanti region, so he believes that it shouldn't be a problem. Yes.
Yeah, but we are giving him an idea of some of the things that may run through the minds of the delegates.
Okay.
And that the two powerhouses, the leader and the chairman, all coming from almost the same cluster, the same enclave, just a boundary away from one another. He should learn to approach those. I mean, keep answering them because it will linger in the minds of the delegates. Again, he should portray some attachment to the youth because I mean he's a grown up man. He doesn't come out as somebody who relates well with the youth. My personal observation.
Oh, okay.
A personal observation from afar. And we know currently in the political space, the youth are virtually taking over.
Yeah.
Go to the internet and all those things. For the two major political parties, you can conclude that the youth has taken over. But the recent elections, constituency level elections held by the NPP, one very young man by all standards, has won a chairman of Insuta Kwamambe Poso constituency.
Yeah.
One Mr. Opoku.
Yeah.
Young man. Like
Same for Wasa East.
Wasa East.
Very young guy.
Yeah.
Either my mate or my junior in the university.
Yeah. So it tells you that there is some relevance of the connection between whoever is contesting any position and the youth.
Yeah.
And from my observation, you should forgive me if it is not like that, but it doesn't appear to me as somebody who has that connection with the youth. And especially the Gen Z activities that goes on. I don't know how well he is into these tech things, IT things, Gen Z stuff. He must quickly begin to organize himself as somebody who connects with the youth. It will add to his chances. It's not going to be easy, he knows. The last time he won, it wasn't easy. This time, it's also not going to be easy. And I think with these few words, he needs to be ready for the race ahead.
So can he cause a stir?
All of them will cause a stir. Wache Jaku will cause a stir. John Boydu will cause a stir. Paul Afoko will cause a stir. Chairman Wuntumi will cause a stir. And may the best of them win.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Wow, this is your party. What's up?
Yes, I think one thing that I have to clear is that they are not from the same region.
Of course.
They are not also from the same tribe. They are from two different tribes altogether. Today, if he meets Dr. Bawumia, the only language they can speak will be English or Twi. They don't even understand each other's language. But you had Haruna Iseku, who is an Akan from Central Region. Then you had a flag bearer, Akufo-Addo, or Akufo. You understand. So I think that thing should really be nipped in the bud. Let's look at a competent person who can do the job, whether even they are from the same region. But this one, they are not even from the same region at all. They don't even speak the same language. This one is Bulsa, from the Bulsa area, and this one is a Mampusi from Wale. So they are not family members. They happen to be in one geographical area, which is the northern part of Ghana. So a lot of people think that the north, I met people who even told me that everyone from the north is a Muslim. Then I told him that the number of Christians in the north are more than the number of Muslims in the north. He was shocked. You understand? Today, if not because President Mahama is multilingual, if you meet Haruna Idrisu today, they will always have to speak English. They are not from the same heritage, they are not family members, but this one is from Savannah and this one is Gonja, this one is Dagomba. They are not related in any way. You understand? So that is one. Two is that when you look at Afoko, this is the first time I am seeing a context that is not between two people. I see about 3 or 4 horse races. The statistician will help us. But I believe that if you dismiss Akufo-Addo, Afoko, you dismiss him at your own peril. In 2014, when he said he was contesting for the national chairmanship position, at that time, a lot of people dismissed him and said he wouldn't be able to win, to the extent that he passed through a lot. At a point in time, they had to even suspend his vetting and so on. He did all these things, and it was apparently clear that the flag bearer didn't even like him. It was just clear. But he went ahead to win because he told them the things that he believed he would be able to do. And the delegates really voted for him at that time. And they voted for Akufo-Addo later for him to lead the party. So I wish him well. I think he will listen to what Prof has said, that indeed he will have to really connect with the times where you have a lot of, it's true that I hardly see a lot of people on social media doing the work for him. But he's someone who, when he joined this race, I saw him to be someone who is coming as a resourceful person. He's been talking about resources, let's support the flag bearer so that he gets a lot of resources and so on. When he came in 2015 as the chairman, he opened bank accounts for all the districts, the constituencies, started sending them monies and so on. It's his hallmark that he says he is resourceful, he'll be able to help the flag bearer, and so everyone has his own strength. But I believe that you don't dismiss him as a potential winner. Same as a Japon, who is seen as a disciplinarian. Then you have the John Bodo, who is seen as someone who has walked through from constituency till the national level and has held about 3 different national positions
youth,
and so on.
Organizer,
youth organizer,
national organizer,
secretary. He was even deputy communications director at a point. You understand? And he was even some treasurer at the headquarters and so on. So he has also seen all. And Chamawun, to me, the longest serving Ashanti regional chairman of the party, and he brought the party to government, even though it was his time that we also went to opposition. But at least he also is touting what he will be able to. So I don't see a clear winner at this point, to be very honest. I don't see 2 distinguished people in the context, looking at history.
Initially, any of them can win.
Yeah, because you see, when Afoko joined, honestly, I dismissed his bid. I felt that, well, it is the old people who might know him, as the Prof just said, that indeed he may resonate with the old in the party, but the youth, I do not even know him because he was quiet for some time. For the entire 8 years, he was on hibernation, and maybe he's doing something behind the scenes. I didn't listen to his lunch to know what he was doing within the period, but he was on some kind of hibernation that people didn't even know, especially the youth. So he needs to do a lot of work, but I believe that I don't see anyone sticking his neck out to say that, well, it is a straight fight between this one and this one. When it started, we all saw that it was a straight fight between John Bodo and Boetia Japo, until Woon to me resurfaced and said he was contesting. Then it changed. Then I even wrote it on my wall that we'll have 3-horse race. Then he also came in and started touring. Just as he started touring, he went to the northern region, gave them some startup cash to start their regional office. He went to the Volta region as well, gave them some money and some cement to start these things. And so you see, when you are in opposition, if someone comes across as resourceful, he becomes a force to reckon with, at least. And strategies too, there are people who think we need a strategist, there are people who think we need these people. That's why I said that I don't see a clear winner at this point. Maybe Prof and others will do their work in the coming weeks for us to see. The elections is just about a month away. So I'm sure in the coming weeks you'll finish your work so that we'll see if there are
initial figures. But,
okay.
We'll finish it up.
Okay, all right. But you don't want to share the initial figures with us? You put the initial figures
I'll share with you, but not with the public.
Okay. As for Lawyer Bedu, this is not his worry. So he's just thinking about himself. But lawyer, from where you sit?
You see, the MPP has a big problem from where I sit.
Okay.
It depends on how they navigate.
What is that big problem?
Unity.
Unity. Okay.
They may deceive themselves and say they are united. Usually in opposition, there is no much to fight over. But I'm a bit surprised as to look, as we speak, I don't think you can ever shy away from the fact that for these few years, they've had two parties come out of the bigger MPP. That's a fact. Well, they may discount the impact and say it's not any serious, so they can move on. Well, we live to see. So if you are electing a national chairman, and I understand they would also be tabling a certain motion before their conference, that would be Congress to determine who the leader now would be. I think they want to change the status quo again. Back, forth, back. I don't know why they want to do that. Is it that they don't trust who may win the chairman because now it's their law is that, or their constitution is that the chairman...
In opposition.
Sorry?
In opposition.
The chairman is the leader. Is that not so?
I think so, right?
So, yes, and now they want to change it again. It was the flag bearer then.
Yeah.
They changed it to the chairman. Then they want to change it back to the flag bearer. I don't know why. Now, the chairman, what's his name? Afoko.
Paul Awentami Afoko.
Afoko, as we all know, he's been there before. He had issues. Today, as we all suspected, Awa has confirmed that he wasn't really liked by
that time.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time.
We thought as much. He needs to. So you see, if you are not liked by the regime, you have issues. Especially if you head the political party, because the regime is the regime, and they know how to whip people in line. For whatever reason, if you are not liked, then there is a problem. He is coming back, and the regime has not changed entirely. Because I think that the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo regime is the same as Dr. Bawumia, or similar. It is that same,
People said so about Rollins and Mills.
I don't have a problem. We may say, today you've not brought us a topic of Rollins and Mills. What you have brought for us to discuss.
I get it.
So
okay.
Let us discuss. So, for me, if you ask my candid opinion, he's their best bet. But they won't vote for him. I won't say they will not vote for him. That's what I've explained. The regime has not changed. They would not trust him. He will never be voted for. But he's their best bet, if you ask me, candidly. Because you need someone amongst all those contesting. How many of them can go to Alachi Batin and tell him that, my brother, enough, come, let's go? How many? How many of them can go to Kennedy and Japan and tell him safe? Because you need them. If you know, you know. In opposition, you need everyone. Even if it means promising them heaven. That don't worry, when I come, I'll give you the heavens. Politics. But if you say that, oh, because I've heard the MPP say, I've heard a lot of people say that, no, when we even fired Afoko and Kwabena Japan, we still won the elections. So we can still do it. All right, we live to see. I wish him well. I like his demeanor. I've always liked him.
He's a gentleman.
A very gentleman. and very resourceful. In opposition, you need resources. And you see, sometimes you, like I have said, you need somebody who is deemed not to be so part of you, so that he can help bring the others who are gone, long gone. But if you think that, because if it is you and only people in your closet, then it means others who are not so close to can leave.
But you think the flag bearer would, because I see that those with him are all supporting different candidates. I see a lawyer, the former deputy transport minister, what's his name? Hassan Tampoli supporting, I think, Ejakon. I see Aminata Wedafoko.
Yes.
I see someone like, Mensah is also with Ejakon.
Yes.
I see the people with
Are you a free with
Wuntumi, you know. So will he have a choice?
You see, the closet has chambers. The closet it has chambers. There are people who are so close and others who are distantly close. I would look at what IUFRA is doing. I see IUFRA to be so close to Dr. Bawumia.
No, more than Hassan Tampoli.
Oh, I know what
more than Amin. More than Amin.
IU is so close.
More than
IUFRA.
More than Amin.
IUFRA, from where I sit, IUFRA operations manager. You know that is. Okay, so you see, IUFRA is so close. You see, there are some who, by virtue of, you see, the geographical area and then the competence, because the man said that when he wins elections, I mean, Anta is his finance minister. He likes him for his competence and all that at their level. So that one is different. But operations, political operations, are you free? I tell you. So me, I'll look at it from that angle. But you see, and I will not fault them so much. It's about trust. They need to be able to work, especially given the experience they had prior to the 2016 elections. They may be forewarned that you need somebody you can trust. But I think that if you also dwell so much on that, you will throw away others. So at least try to, of course, there will be, because you see, in the minds of Ghanaians or in the eyes of Ghanaians, MPP is divided. But whether it has so much impact into the upcoming elections is another thing. So they have an opportunity to bridge that gap, if there is, or there exists any. So that if can you imagine if Afoko wins the chairmanship position and Dr. Bawumia, I mean, is, or people around him, you say who and who around him supports Afoko? You say who?
Hassan is a Ejakon. Tampoli is the former finance minister.
So who around Dr. Bawumia?
He is the former deputy transport minister. He is with Ejakon.
Yes, I'm talking about those who have. Yes, the former finance minister. Yes.
That's fine. So we pray we wish them well. I mean, they are a political party in opposition. They need to work from opposition very well to help the government succeed. And so we wish them well. Dr. Bawumia, my challenge has always been this. I've said it elsewhere, and maybe let me put it that way, related to this. I don't know why they chose to elect the flag bearer before electing their. Look, that is the danger. You see now, people around Dr. Bawumia are being asked or are being perceived to support one or two. You are the leader of the party. If some people who are also party people anyways, they have a right to do whatever, but they are close to you. So if any of them goes out there to support one candidate, we perceive that the leader or the regime then now supports this person.
But doesn't it also show the neutrality of the man when his people are supporting whoever they like?
I don't know the people you are talking. Okay, hold on. Who does Nana Akufo-Addo support?
Nana Akufo-Addo.
He has not come.
Okay, I don't know.
He has not come out.
But it is for good reasons.
But you see, I know that Dr. Bawumia, when it comes to Hassan Tampoli, Amin Anta,
are you a free?
George Mrekuduka.
Yes,
because Mrekuduka was this guy in Western Region. Duka
so
is
if you extend it that way, there are people very close.
Duka is
Wuntumi.
Yes.
So doesn't it show that the flag bearer says you can do whatever you want?
Do you see?
He's not whipping anybody in line.
There are people who are used for manifesto work, policy work. Abiy will not be used for political whatever operations. No, he will sit with him policy. Let's find a way. How can this be done? Because he is a technocrat. You understand? So I would not look out for who Abiy supports. But you see, you mentioned operations. Are you a free Rekuduka? And those guys, they are pure politicians. Yeah, of course. I mean, are you a free is also a medical pro, but I think he's even what's his position around Dr. Bawumia? Operations. I've heard something like I'm not too sure.
No, Northern sector. He was the campaign manager for the entire Northern.
No, currently.
With the committees they've created.
No, health. Yeah, co-chair for health, yes.
Okay. But during his campaign, he was, I think...
He was in charge of them.
You really want to make a...
No, because... But you see, you know, let me say it bluntly. I know the regime supports Wontumi.
Oh.
That's...
Is it not based on hearsay? People have been saying it. But clearly, what is happening... Because, you see, when someone like Hassan Tampuli is supporting... And then see, Mensah. Andrew Mensah
supports you.
Ejako. Is this guy in the Western region?
He and Yindam is also with.
Yeah. So it's sort of say that doesn't it tell you that the flag bearer he doesn't want to meddle in whoever will emerge.
So you see,
because his arsenals are supporting whoever they want.
City, and for what I'm saying, there are also people around the flag bearer who think that should suffice. Regardless, even if the flag bearer, because they are supposed to be his advisors and they have their personal opinion. And one of them is that it doesn't matter, bring him on board. Okay. So there are some close to the flag bearer who may still advise that regardless, let him come. So it doesn't matter. But currently, I'm saying that for what we've heard, that confirms our suspicion that the regime of Nana Addo Dankwa, and you agree with me, that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his, kitchen cabinet is not so different from that of Bawumia. You agree? Yeah, so, not so different. No, not the same, but not so different. We know, you know.
Rollins and Mills.
Of course, it wasn't different. It wasn't that
when
different.
Mills came,
came
okay,
is a different.
Hold on for me. Just hold on for me. Now, we told you that we had to flood hit communities to assess life after the devastating flood. Okay, all right.
Okay, so
lawyer, no. Let me let lawyer. I wanted to move on, but I'm going to have to wrap with you before I move on.
So I wish Honorable Afuku well. Does Kwabena Japan support him, or we don't know yet? Because they were together when they had the issues.
No, not yet.
He hasn't said. Yeah. He doesn't support,
or he has also not openly declared for anyone.
Yes. So I think that unfortunately he is also late. That's my candid opinion. He's late in declaring. When I heard yesterday that he was at this time, because they are long gone.
Yeah.
He's late.
The time
he's late.
The time
is late. Unfortunately, but I personally think that he's their best bet. It would really have helped bring in those who are gone. But because I know that Ejako, for his, the way he left government,
okay,
it makes him somebody who cannot really be trusted.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, understand.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you. We have to move on. We have to move on.
Just a minute, just to say that Dr. Bawumia does not support any candidate.
Okay.
And again, the unity that we're talking about, it's not about the top there. The top has always been, there are suspicions with the top, both NDC and NPP.
Okay.
NDC in opposition, they had the national chairman, general secretary, woman organizer, defecting in opposition to form a political party, but they won the elections.
Okay.
In 2008.
Right.
And the same as MPP. What we need is the unity at the grounds, and that is what we're seeing today. After the elections, you could tell that indeed the grassroots is poised to make Dr. Bawumia the president of Ghana in 2028, inshallah. That is the reason we are happy. Whoever is elected, the grassroots will support the person to win the elections.
All right. This one says, KB, please let our world be aware that the chairmanship is clearer and we want Boache Jakun as the next chairman of the PP. Blueprint, writing from his Kado-Keten constituency. Okay, Blueprint. Thank you very much. Well, thanks to you.
I just wanted to say that...
Prof, we need to move on.
I do not expect Dr. Bawumia for the person he is, his appearance, affability, demeanor. He's also an elitist, kind of a gentleman, to have any problem working with any of the main frontliners, at least the 4 that we know now, working with them. I do not foresee a man like him having a challenge working with any.
Thank you, I'm grateful. Now, that lawyer, Beidou, is MP for Akwatia. Professor Masapon is with Kumasi Technical University, and then Awal Mohammed is with the MPP Communication Director. Now, let's go to flood-hit communities to assess life after the devastating floods. Relief efforts have begun, and how are those being done? My colleague, Emefa, is coming to us from a community called Alogboshi. Let's join her now. Emefa, what can you report?
Well, so it's been, say, 16 days, Kojo, since the June 29 floods happened in Ghana. Quite devastating. And today we're located, or we're visited one of the communities we can confidently say that was most hit, Alogboshi, inside the Achimota community in Accra here. When I came into this community, you don't need any other evidence to know that the community was really quite hit. And I'm going to be engaging some of the residents and as well the assembly member or the assemblyman for the community. Just genuine into, just coming into the community, you can definitely tell how high the water was or the flood was and how much devastation it has caused. First of all, let me speak to the assemblyman who's just been telling me that they have actually just discovered today a dead body which they suspect has been lying there since the flood. Tell me your name, your full name, and so for today, what has happened today before we even get back to what's been happening earlier.
Thank you so much. My name remains Honorable James Akogo, the assembly member for the good people of Abofu electoral area, currently in Alogboshi.
Okay. So this area is Abofu.
Abofu electoral area.
Okay. And here is Alogboshi.
Okay. My area comes under 6 communities in Alogoshi's park.
When I got to the community, I didn't need any soothsayer to know that the community was definitely really, really hit. But you're telling me earlier that you had just discovered a dead body today?
Yes. I don't know. I cannot describe the if the person is female or male. But gone bad after the dredging. And let me use the opportunity to thank my member of parliament, the government as a whole, for bringing in the military to come deseal the Addo drain after the drain. So we are hoping things go well. We discovered a dead body today, and it was very bad.
You mean it's so bad that you can't even tell if it's female or male?
Very well, you cannot tell.
What has since happened to the body?
The Meho of the Municipal Assembly and that of the police assisted, and we've taken it out to the morgue.
Well, before I engage the residents over here, the flood, you were telling me how many deaths so far. If you add today's one that you have just discovered, it will be about 8 or 9?
Yeah, Alogboshi community, 16 people recorded missing. Missing. And we found, as of today, what we have recovered will add up to be 9 in all.
Persons have died? Okay. I mean, I saw the walls and I saw how bad the devastation was. But describe to me, I can see properties, livelihoods in despair. But tell me how bad the flooding, how much devastation it caused here in Alogboshi. I mean, you're telling me about the bodies that you have discovered, but properties as well.
Let me be very frank and honest. As we speak, I, the assemblyman born and bred here in this community, I've never experienced this. And as we speak, I cannot even move from home to home to even see the faces of my affected people. I feel bad. Let me surprise the world to say 16 people missing in this small community, 8 found dead. And it is not something good to write home about. I am not very properties destroyed. We cannot tell.
Are you suspecting that the other people that you can't find may have been washed away by the flood?
That is what we are suspecting. And as an assemblyman, my people now call me Mochiriman. The reason being that I have to help the police carry all these people to the morgue. And after which, some of the people come to say they want to identify their persons. And assemblyman, you have to lead to the morgue to be showing the people. In fact, I don't know.
Are you traumatized?
I am.
Well, talking about residents and how much devastation it has caused, Kojo, let's engage some of them. I mean, on their faces, I cringe to want to engage them because you can see the sadness and the despair in the faces of people. I'm leading you to one woman I see is seated, and I'm just going to be engaging her. Ma, me patro ete saying. Me mu say me buy baby awotia na woti ensuo ni tono na wo he.
Na me wodam. Na me tie ni mo he ya.
Nkwa.
Ai.
Na me buy me hu say ensuo no. Etoye no. Me hu walls no ane chese na ensuo no efra.
Ko me dem ho nyina. Inside any he nyina ayema. Nti obi na de me hye kire na de me pie.
Na nipa ni ede hu sanka wo hye dem ho.
Se nipa no no otia. Nti ni me se ne ekọ.
Ma nti se metiase a na nipa ni ho anka.
Ne se ne ewu na mewu.
Na otina emantem ha no emfi ahine.
Oh, 2 years aba.
2 years. Ade be say assemblyman say assembly say insida.
Oh, eba fia, but enkodem se ne na no ekọ yi.
Na unkwa na uti anaoni obinet.
Unkwa na mete.
Mana bande na unkwa na uti.
Se na mete baby na fiura na ha ma adwen. Na madam fu bi not ya. No pay dan no ede ma me wa ha. Nti o pay dan ma me no na me bae. Nti me bae no na che se na mesi me pedano nti metinam but nsuo no taa etime yiri na aba but dem pa de na
me ba me hu se mattress pillow nyoma bebre egu abonting ha se asese entire mattress na ewo dia
ma me we na ne de oni ho se okọ ayi we oton ade wo ni refi hodimpo e ho na wa akotena
na ensuo ni toy nature no aban ni ka say omo ye nhihye eni ahobabo bia omode emo akakra ebema
bre we student mattress ena your friend say emo one bag ena bed sheet ena bo we bi ho krasisi ya
mana sabio me hu se obenanti ana sa obebi bi agese we hia mo akakra ene nsuo to na se obi ni honma de no be
se ne ebe me na ye me ne ebe me na ye me
sisi apa mo apen na hia
oh almost me kwa kwahye ese me kwahye me nan no me nana me kwahye nso skasem
na ona no obetimi aka che me adekwa eye no
ade be me hu na esi baa me nana yesa
o ho ana ona no
ade be hu me nana so ketwa
be enfia hini
oh me fan say 1 year ni
enai ni honomu eni sabio ndi twa mu nyina afi ba ko ni
afi ba ko ni
eche say enfie wo ho nyina no na uyoke
me na ntepa me koba pa na ne ba ne se de ntime nko ba bia ese medidi kura Yesu obi na eye madum
Maunimba.
O me baba akupe.
Away.
Yeah.
Away.
No, I have so a tukai.
Okay, Mati. Well, you can. My members are here for a second.
Address for.
Well, so I've just been speaking to Address for, who is a resident of Aloboshi Kojo, and I need not describe the situation because you surely saw that she definitely would need help to get around here. She tells me that during the flood or during the raining period, she was lucky to have another neighbor who was around who helped her. Otherwise, you could just imagine what would happen. But let's engage more of the residents. Ma, me pacho, good morning. Masaba mi amaro badum, make up baduga. Okay. Alogbosia fi apanini.
Muleje kabia 10 years.
10 years. Na chijava na mi apahoma.
Ebana hwamu pa. Ebana hwamu. Esi jana lena mi weke ade mwenya view. Eke agbron de pepe ro homu. Eke mo lo gbo ya yin gba po mo lo do. Bed yen ke egbere moko dangbe TV yo ke egbere
Gbọ́n gbẹ̀tí àná jàjà mi fi kéne no.
Be mi le apamu mi wo be mi alo mi amonu ado kodo wo le ke si akọ speed akova mi to wondo kokwa yi over polo mi dogoro esiam
Ta ofun de sha de gble.
De cha de gble mi amonu gble e mi amoto ile homo nyeku vinyo mi amonu ke gble
Eye chiaja government be yava ko pepero ngade na ameyo ke chijaja defuna nko wo
nuko wo yin be oko matres kumoluku nova ma wa obo nko aja mionya nko loko nko do mi amonko mwezele ga mi okpon ndeke enyeku vinye ofuno po so ndende mi ba no ga dembe nya po molo be ni mo kpo matres ada na makodare ayingba ni ma no mloji wa omonami ndeko nuke moluku matres kunu wa ma mi okpondoko wa modo po amodo mopo evinye kura funo ba le gason dende oyo monko ba tota o mo yo monko ivi po funo enyi no mo yo monko kura po ade o ma kon ndene na ajure gama o mo ne ndeko imi do ba kun.
Well, so Pama, so she tells me that she's been living in this community for about 10 years. Well, yes, it rained, it floods, but this one is quite major. She hasn't seen anything like this. She was not able to salvage most of her things. I was also asking her about the relief that the government had promised. She says yes, the government came by with mattresses, rice,
mattress, ku molu, sepe na fraito. Ku bowls, ku buckets, ku nuevo.
Well, so she's just been listing the items that she has received: rice, mattress, blankets, bowl, I think buckets. She says, yeah. Doka ina wana.
Moroku enya osronyo wo pipe masana la famu.
Okay, so she's just been giving me the account of what has happened because she lives in this community. She's been here over 10 years. Papa, mene on kasa be na ope.
Pacho. Betumi akaigbe
na say China okay. What's now Aloboshia how many years?
Okay, me bahan almost 15 years in it. And I'm sure to me to sometimes a year but where they are a serious one. And that day I didn't see a crap of me to coin Friday, Monday, and I didn't see a move frame me. Me buy no. Now my wife needing quarantine or on. The way is almost in shuni ban pressure no and I'm kadom no to mo pie by nyamanya na na was tomu na shuni yipi ko but me danya nyaze say omutin kwemu me buy so ma betu omu nyina nyama na side I say ba omutin kwemu dia danya nyaze
government say or the more be ema omo sasem we to omu e mo be da wanya
Oma bache mattress ni emu any frighto any story mattress
Inti siya start here fin fa obrana wa boni nyina no na 15 years awo ka che be start here fin fa
say no bia condemn the cyber class 1
edi
pa na ade ba ko so ha adwini say estate a omo si wo side one no first no 90s, but because of nsuo a yiri sana and to me call na a pushing na a bush eba alupushia. Sometimes first railways no or crampo, first one crampo that the enemy na kaboom, nsuo pressure no a pushia kaboom. I had
into back I say a dynamo no and no cause nsuo no flag.
Bia almost wall no a begata no dodo. A begata no also a kahombi. And as I say, no almost protect your dying and almost yi abubaka sekase a good got an answer say Ebian Suniria and fet your modino. Nina pressure in a bahanum and also kahombi.
What's it, Mammy Mason Casa? Ma, Obaka Casabe, I agree on a tree. Okay, you have say, what's now Alobosha how many years? Yeah, woman, wah. Hey, let's just make it come more, basically. Yeah, woman. Yeah, woman, wah, me, wah. And then in short, I toa a toba, a babadem, a ba, a tonne, you didn't quite dear, a ba, but wait, dear, a dutum. With their side, no more baby. Me tell me, me tell you, I come when they shame me. Still not say be pia. And so you turn on away. Ni pia, you woman come. You pia kwa bonte, ni dance on the mad a dino. No, you had your pan, koi. Nkwana wote na wo mbaka ho ai me maka ho me maka ni tono mo so mo pie na ma yenye nyina ye pie fi dan na mo man ke bi nyina pie ye te ko ye ni san be no ba ende na unya ye na nya hwio hwese na ma hwehwe na nya hwe no ma nyina sei bi bia sei mi sto mu ni o ma o sei aban ni ka so de mbo aka krap ba wenye bi ai na no na oba na be che ye mattress student mattress and a bowl like this in woman. Any day, blanket and a moo, any anwa, asa. Time your man pen or the bray. No mind to best start here, favor. Ah, was you? Young Amabay, you. Let me also speak to you. Would you please tell me your name? What language you want to speak?
I want to speak Ewe.
If you are the Pogba, figure natural.
What's your funny?
In a valley again, fear, Alobosha fear for any life.
Okay, if you know la fear for Yamava. The Ubachana Jana Vanaka is too much. Time of Yamava dom la fear, Wagatatru. Chiajani to a Homakata, you got a Burachama.
Got a Burachama.
You, La fear no man have equira. Tanaba in the Sharabla. In fact, other phone. Alabanan cage of a got Takali la fear. Over to Wajika Kavaya, I'm watching the Chia over Lenma. Lako Gafichi Napomo. Tari ko ma. Secondly, got a Gavana, got a Vala Swede. Alaba, Uga blocker, Ayakatofia, 2 me about Hotafia Koya, Ugava blocky. Alaba, you block a Chamate Yimu. The Shadavala Afia. Aquirari, Tanakin Yoko, Avafia, Fito Havima, my Yimu. The Catavafia. We don't finish your money of you. I'm telling you. I want to figure no. Madogo, Kaka, oh, Yama got the Drogarata. And why you Burachama? Hello, me ten of Epura. Hey, government, and you have a marine can me. And your sister, Mablo, Evie, a better come across you. And look at you. Even of Mabu Mula. Anglomola, one coil quantity, Kuba, you know, you quiver, Taiwan will never go. Tell you. Even of Macacacacacacacca, even at all. We are Kakok Bavicrayam, a param of me that Balafwama. I can't put an acaho. Domoviba Cocojuapama. In fact, at the Regina. That Mogbana Mapong, young Laficomava, Mogbana. Okay. Rebecca Casabe. Yanka Chief. What's all your for saying?
From Rebecca Inema.
What's all of how many years?
Maybe 18 years.
18 years? Yes. Tell me your name as well.
Gifty.
Gifty, you've lived here how many years?
Hey, you were in the yache.
And you're not on a number one.
Not your woofy.
Catch me describe the day how on it.
Okay. Me sorry, I'm matching. I should encourage home because school. Enti ye no na ye morning devotion. Enti morning devotion money hu say ensuo ni yiriba na me concern kora ne njai na ye nhwa ansa. ye pie ne nsuo ne da meyam na ye we no ayema nti odi pie na ono sabara e kira me kunu pie de na nsuo ne da ne mene nti dwane ko me shop me kodu honzo so a honzo so ayiri nti no me sape baby bankora no kotena school park so nti e kira ansana nsuo ne toja ya etwe
if it is that time no wait me enyoma kakra na se bibia say
ye ba ye wo na bu nti ye niam de dodo na akọ fridge akeka kra say ye pasta mpo na be fa ye nkoda mission house nti no na ye asama no odin
na aban ne ka so de mbo kakra bia ba unsa ka be
ye de ne nim se Teresa woni na bre ye niam o de ba ye student mattress me me kun me ma ye 6 and a what dine but student mattress ba coupe bo me de besensu apai and a blanket ba ko and a more 5 kilo
onso sanyo manana onso nya
pressure aye no na ye nyina ye nya but flood no ebi mu nya ebi mu enya by flood ni de anu ye de level ni level na ye nya ye ni bi TV na o me de me ba no wo ni buye no ebie mi do nti me fridge cylinder bibia ko mi si that obi ba report na mi use mi nyama na egu abonte no betimi de we na atoso nti wo no kra no and any 3 days na ye finish ye fence no ebu ye nti no we ni ko bie doors no ena ma ye nyama nyina nti mi de American de bibia pie freedom ho ekoe ena ye say ye ti say me kan oni you say aban so be ye moa nanso moa no ye hu because ye MP Teresa wuni na de nyama bi ba ye now I don't know say if it's from the government or another from the MP or Nwangasa another we bia anwana or another obi na volunteer ne ho say odi nyama ne mai
so ba no beka baby amwa ne fi
okay mom but ye ko ho ntem ye ko ye no ye se oba omba nso na ye so ye dos na biebie nti ye show say nyama no so e wa bonti no obi ba bewia nti mimi de ni o kan before sharing the thing then I wasn't there nti no minti me enhwe but ye minim say obey mattress bo and our blankets nyama no de baby mu enya ba mi de mi nyaye but me de nyama na ko ni mo de bro
yes. My lady, come here. Where were you?
Oh, I was at school at that time when the flood happened.
Okay. Which school?
Wholeness training.
Okay. Oh, so you came to hear the story. Do you live here alone or with your parents?
My mom.
Where's your mom?
She's outside. She went somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the show, so how bad was it?
So me, I heard it like I saw the news on TikTok. I saw how the thing, and then they kept mentioning our area. So I had to call, but I wasn't reaching out to here. So I had to call someone else, and then they told me how bad the thing has happened. So actually, I was writing my final year. So it's really worried my studies. So
were you able to get through?
We give thanks to God.
Yeah.
I tried my best, but because of what happened, it really affected me mentally. So at least I gave out my best here.
So mommy, how is she recovering?
She was the only person at home actually, because I live with her. We are just two. So she's a bit old. Yeah, so the stress and then the pressure, she alone doing all the work. Yes.
Did she tell you she received some of the relief items?
When I came home, yes, she said she received some mattress, rice, oil, and then blankets.
How's the family putting things together to get back on their feet?
Actually, starting from zero is one thing that is really bothering, because you are starting everything from scratch. You lost everything like within a twinkle of an eye. Yeah, so I'm just managing.
Poma, let me also speak to a lady here. Ma, me pastor for saying.
I said to Adam.
Ma, I said to not what an alubusha how many years in
36 years.
36. Yeah, that's almost on my weighing card, ma. Mana, what's na alubusha in Suato, Kessy?
Say the end toy. And Swede a talk, Nanso, in your sea. Nso we toy no ebro adwene nti ase so nso we di me hu bi da
so nyoma ni nyina say
maame busa honorable ada na oba ekura de na me sun say aduane Mene nananom. Dani ti beti kwa ni bi. Mema ba so mbi mi se menko. Nsuo no taja ya dia mene nananom bi. Ye nifi na ona bo si gina bonte nsuo no da no kon. Me se ona bo no ma munyi wo. Je se mi no ma mi bibi akwakura nka mi nya aduane. Bibi ase. Nyahwi. Ya nyahwe. Nsuo to wie ye no. Sika na da me table so. Obi me abo na me bo. Na obi abefa ma abo 10 million. Na me sika na me table so me nana no be ko school ti me kwa kotuatua no manketenketen. Tita mo nsuo no ba prekopa me se me kode mo na ye se light shock me. Na me san mechi. Na ka che coffee se oh bra coffee. Ka kire onabo no kan che ECG for so mudum ye light no. Na nyasa yebe we yebe doso. Na me san mechi me se nsuo no tati amen. So ni tati ye. Tempest. Me nyama fo ado ya. Kaminim die mu amewo. Na ye mpini so ha no. Woni consequence ni anyina awowo no. Akoye nsuo place. Obre. Ona bonsu ye ade. Mpini obre. Ye ona boy wo ye ade pa. Bibi nto e ma ne tena ne dem. Enyi nani. Obetu anamo de wo se wo ye no obeye.
Well, Poma, that's what's happening at the Aloboshi, close to Achimota. Residents are still devastated and reeling in some of the things that they have really lost during the flooding.
Na me bag ba ko na me se mefa wa huma ha. Na me bag ba ko da misuo mu a nsuo ne di ko. Apia fride mu a wa huma ha.
Well, you're just hearing from residents of Alugbushi. They're counting their losses after the June 29 devastating floods. But we'll bring you more of that in our subsequent bulletins. But now, let me take you live to the University of Media, Arts and Communication, where the School of Journalism and Media Studies is holding a conference on the theme Navigating the Future of Journalism, Media and Communications.
First of all, check if your audio is on and check your mute buttons and make sure that your system and your internet is working so that we can gratefully set off to do our discussions. At this moment, I will kindly ask our technical team to assist us to play the national anthem of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you. Thank you.
Exciting times indeed. No need to stress about always using your laptops or desktops to get news on your favorite news portal by Online.com. Life becomes easy with joy. We've got you covered. Simply go to your app store on your mobile phone and download our new My Joy Online app, conveniently designed to enhance your reading experience. Watch and listen to your favorite MGO shows and stay updated with our political, entertainment, sports, business, lifestyle, and research stories. Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
Ghana's coastline is 550 kilometers long. About 7.5 million people live along the coast of Ghana. This has made the interaction of man with the ocean unavoidable, but this friendly relationship seems to be turning hostile due to man's activities such as the dumping of plastic waste into the ocean. The existential threat to lives and property along the coast. Also of grave concern is beach sand mining.
Yes, no worries for you. Yeah, be our galamsey. Yes, our rare Accra galamsey for you.
Interestingly, some people living along the coast are now seeing sand as their galamsey or sand winning as their galamsey, which is very unfortunate.
In this documentary, we explore how the illegal practice of sand mining is worsening the existential threat of climate change and rising sea levels.
In my time now, I'll be 46 years guy. I was born 1976, 12 February. I'm from Jamestown, British Accra. I know many things in Accra. The time I start beach camp, that I was 6 years. People they collect sand, I grow, see the sand, the sand be Gary, government delivers for us.
It's a crime, it's criminal. EPA will not permit and has not permitted any sand winning activity along the coastal line, let alone building fiscal infrastructure that can cause so much damage.
The sun is up here at the Kolegona beach. It's always a perfect time for people to bask in the sun, play games, and cool off in the ocean. Many people usually throng this beach on weekends, but not today. Only a few people are here. Filthy, polythene-ridden beaches may be driving beach lovers away. But even more worrying are the activities of these individuals here engaging in sand mining, robbing the sea of its buffer in broad daylight. They scoop the beach sand into several sacks and sell the sacks of sand for construction works. Although beach sand mining is banned in Ghana, the activity is still rife. It will be very easy to arrest people who mine sand at the beach. But just like many other laws, enforcement is always a problem. Saki Otokuno has lived here his entire life. He and several others earn their incomes pillaging the sandy white beaches of Ghana's coastline. According to him, the sand is a gift from heaven that will never deplete.
Sand is the sand way they be our food. It be Accra people, them our food. Ghana people will be our food. If you go away, we don't get nothing. They can't take the sand, go sell some.
Beach sand is considered by these illegal miners as not strictly belonging to anyone. The relative abundance of this resource, coupled with unemployment and cultural misconceptions, have worsened the erosion of the coasts.
How the people they chop the sand government with the bag leave us for us. So because your people they chop galamsey, we talk. They know the year. Let dig the sand. Then the sand inside girl. But sometimes if they don't make about they dig the sand inside. So which will they dig and get more money to feed ourselves. So leave the sand matter for us.
People still think in the cornucopian era where they think natural resources abound. They are there to be used and can never get finished. But the New World Order has traversed through protectionism, conservationism. Now we are in sustainable development and sustainable management of these resources.
Jonah
is a fisherman here at Kulegono, but he occasionally collects sand for sale. To earn some more money, he mines beach sand and makes cement blocks for sale. Jonah claims many buildings around Kulegono and its environs were built using the sea sand. He downplays the impact of their illegal activities on the coastline.
It's unfortunate if people should talk about not seeing or feeling the impacts, because the impacts are clear and clear every day. There are damages and loss of lives and properties when the tidal waves occur. You remember Keta, very bad experience. So the effects are there, clear and glare for people to see.
Close to the site where these illegal sand miners operate, the cliff base is badly exposed to wave attacks. Bedrocks are visible, making it dangerous for swimming. The natural defense system to counter the sea waves is disturbed as a result of sand mining. Although the people insist the sand replenishes itself, experts say once the sand is collected, it cannot be restored. Professor Akufo-Addo is the director of the Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies at the University of Ghana.
Sand winning is a major problem because you can't imagine a coastal area without sand. Sand is a major part of the entire coastal systems, and the ocean thrives on sand. What I mean is that you have the sand which comes and the sand being carried away. So sand comes into the system, and sand is carried away from the system. So the moment you have a system and you have more sand moving into the system compared to sand being carried away from the system, then you have surplus sand that helps to build your beach. If you have sand entering the system being equal to sand moving away from the system, then you also have a healthy system in that what comes in is equal to what goes out.
Beach sand maintains a balanced sediment budget and acts as a buffer for the cliff base. Even though coastal erosion is unavoidable and its impact can be very devastating, man's activities have exacerbated the negative impact, forcing the sea to eat up the coastline.
The situation whereby you have less sand coming to the system compared to sand moving away from the system, then you have more sand moving from the system that results in a deficit in the system, and that can enhance coastal erosion. So you realize that we have what we call sediment budget. So the moment you have less sand into the system compared to sand being taken away, then you don't have a healthy system. So if we collect what is there, then we are compounding the problem in that the less sand that is coming into the system are being taken away. And that will obviously affect the sediment budget within that system. And it can cause a lot of problems. And one major issue as a result of that is coastal erosion. And that is the reason why in some areas we have increased problems with coastal erosion.
It appears there is a ready market for blocks molded with beach sand. Solid, hollow, and various design blocks are made right here at the beach. Thousands of blocks are waiting for buyers.
Some are being very smart in that if they collect the sand and send it away, they may be termed as winning sand or mining sand. But what some of them are doing now is take the sand, mold the block there. So if they are taking blocks away, it is not sand they are taking away, but blocks. But in any case, once you pick the sand, you are mining sand, or you are collecting or mining for sand. So the impact is still the same, because you are depriving that system of the amount of sand that it needs. And again, as you continue mining for sand, you are also creating a pathway for the waves to now move more inland.
According to the Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Studies, sand mining is the world's largest mining endeavor, responsible for 85% of all mineral extraction. It is also the least regulated and quite possibly the most corrupt and environmentally destructive. The executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Henry Kokofu, underscores the importance of the coastline.
The subject matter, which is the coastal line, is part and parcel of the natural estate, the ecosystems that we're talking about. And it's a very important ecosystem, plays very significant role in the protection of the ocean and also the shoreline of all countries, including Ghana. And if you do not have coastal protection, it means you one day wake up and then the tidal waves of the ever-rising sea level would wash away settlements and cause enough havoc.
Established by Act 490, the EPA is by law the state institution handed the responsibility of regulating, protecting, and improving the environment.
It goes beyond the Act 490 because the parent law of this country, that's the 1992 Constitution, Article 36(9), and then Article 41K are all in there, giving impetus to the importance of protecting and safeguarding the environment. I must say that there are a lot of challenges in trying to regulate this very important resource.
Many buildings along the coast have become death traps. Their foundations have been exposed, putting them at risk of collapse. The owners are forced to support their structures with bags of beach sand collected around. Others resort to heaping plastic waste in front of the facilities to protect them from the raging waves. But this does not hold back the sea, as the waves easily wash the rubbish away. Some developers appear audacious and are building on the beach using the very sand sediment that limits the sea from land invasion.
That's absolutely unnecessary. Why would you want to do that? Particularly when you don't have the advanced technology to sustain that kind of development. Yes, go to other jurisdictions. They have, because the system supports such adventurous investment or development. But here we are grappling with simple technologies to sustain our developmental programs. So why would you want to put so much effort, money, and resources into something that virtually can cause catastrophe?
There's a conflict, and that conflict, human is taking the space that is meant for the ocean to naturally evolve. And once they are taking it, the ocean doesn't know, a stop work sign. The ocean will continue to do its natural, behavior, naturally evolve. And once it's naturally evolving and it's coming closer to the land that is reserved for the ocean to evolve, then you are shouting that the ocean is taking your property away. No, you are rather encroaching on the land that should be reserved for the ocean to naturally evolve.
25 kilo le fin okay 250 pesos na on smith 61 o ko lo pay lo le 220 o pay lo le 15 here me o pay lo le 250 o ko gbe ba hwe.
While sand miners are benefiting from the enterprises, beachfront tourism facility owners also have to spend huge sums of revenue on ad hoc protective projects, or they lose the entire In order to tame the waves, they build walls or heap large stones on the beaches to protect their properties. Apia, not his real name, is a hotelier here at Kolegono. He laments the impact of sand mining on their business.
If you notice, we put some edges. Some people too have put rocks. So the holds the sea when it comes with sand. So it holds them. But you see that here, this level is higher than that in the sea. So this is actually helping, to push the sea backwards. But it's not always you get it. But one day, at times it just rises and it just finds its own way and very dangerous. So my reason to educate each and everybody that whatever we do, it will come around to affect us.
The sand mining phenomenon is all the more worrying as the impact of erosion along the coast is only likely to worsen with climate change and rising sea levels. According to Professor Akufo-Addo, Ghana's coastline is eroding at an average rate of about 2 meters a year, but some areas have recorded up to 17 meters of erosion in a single year. The 150-kilometer eastern coastline, which stretches from Aflao to Pram, has been identified as most vulnerable to the influence of sand movement downstream of the Volta River, usually characterized by relatively strong waves and currents.
How that people do, they sell Akotia people, they sell the diamond things for the river inside, where we they sell the sand, then too they sell the mine things, Obuasi, Yakari Chrome, Biposu, Puano. I know I work for them. They sell the bush, this thing, mineral resources rough. Government, they talk. If they say these people, they are like, they know them or they forget it.
Managing coastal challenges should be looked at as a holistic, issue, or we should not look at it as a segmented issue. The local people, including the local authorities, that are particular about the indigenous people, should be involved in the management of coastal challenges. Now, if you take sand mining, for instance, there is a ban on sand winning along the coast. One major challenge we've all identified is the enforcement of the ban. But moving forward, is enforcement the only means by which we can these challenges or stop people from mining sand? No. To me, I think it's about time we begin to involve them. We begin to let them involve their actors. Because I believe that once they understand and they're able to appreciate that this is going to have effect on our livelihood, have effect on our children's livelihood, have effect on our children's livelihood. Why? They will appreciate the challenges. And they will be part of the solution. But a situation whereby you leave them out and you try to solve it without involving them, to me, it will not work. We need everybody on board. And the role of the local or the indigenous people in this activity in terms of managing challenges within the coastal area is critical and is key.
From time to time, the police raid the beach of these illegal activities, but the people remain adamant in putting an end to their trade. This gentleman, for example, is in a hurry to leave the beach to avoid arrest. He has finished loading his tricycle with cement blocks.
No, I'm Thomas from Toma. I'm getting illegal. She wants to show bagon. Hey, bagon. I'm getting show bagon. Tomorrow, bagon. Hey, was no off fast. No tomorrow in Cheko, but now we're going to watch in the song. Watch. I was near Kama. You're going to tomorrow now. We're going to watch. Yeah.
They think they are the community members, and this is a resource for them. Than whatever you realize by commercializing the sand winning at the coast. So we have got to use the full force of the law clamp them down, the activity down. We cannot look on.
In 2015, the government constructed a sea defense structure along the Klefe-Gbegbeise coastline to fight erosion. Prior to its construction, the densely populated fishing communities were hit by tidal waves and floods. While their troubles looked resolved, the problem seems to have been transferred to adjoining communities. Shiabu, a few minutes' drive from Kolegono, is one of the hardest hit coastal communities in Accra. Hundreds of homes have been swallowed by the troubled sea, forcing many to flee. Amma has lived here with her family for 2 years. Her house is less than 50 meters from the sea. She's always lost in her own thoughts of safety. She's worried about the waves breaking down her house and killing her and her 7-month-old baby.
Satam na deni se na nso suto on say June July mu de na nso ta ton kitin enti na me de me baby no hyedem enti wodem wana me de me ti sa deni ye gbin prekope na me soli na me peja me ba no me ni me ma mienu na wodem mo na ba ko so yi ye flash na ye TV no ka say afota ba enti me sopo enti me yisi I say see breeze na akoma ma na say na me peja baby no na ye do no ko she ma me fufuro bi dem when I want and be best see me yet dear no say support na ho and they said them nyam shishi me nya skanka met to Africa.
Amma is unable to afford rent elsewhere, so she has decided to risk staying here, praying for God's protection. But even in the glare of disaster, individuals still mind sun here.
Me feel rough on the muka say ma mu sa nyan nya sampu no ebeba no mu de mu de o mu dan mu na imponim bra betu ye wa ha na.
Some Shebu residents are blaming the construction of the Klefe Sea defense for their woes.
15 years. 15 years, yes, but I can. No, me, when I can show you, say, to can I wear be? No, was sharing what you want, I know you on a can't about me to the new be to 22. What you to 22 years be? Ne, I've been where she point yes, crowd and shorty. In a bag of bed. She about I get check to I got afraid to get 10 again back. Pony, I guess I'm sure now. Pony, I got pressure alone. I back well. She about I can enter film again bar. I near get there about Pony about. Ni there, not she have pressure away be. Robert, honey, Kagi is sure way, you know. Pressure the other guy just about go on be. Okay, about born to you. They are
appealing to the government to extend the seawall to cover their area so as to reduce the impact of the rising sea levels.
She will be a jolly be any. The way assembly be where MP be where you look by community be any. I mean, only I know she won't not only put enough fear away. Robert, if you have to walk by here, where you will be, what won't pack back. But is
sea defense the ideal solution to the impact of coastal erosion?
I've always been saying that sea defense is not the right approach in managing coastal, challenges, especially coastal erosion, because sea defense is basically fighting erosion, and you can't use an artificial means to fight a natural system. So for you to be able to fight a natural system, you must develop a natural means to fight the natural system. Artificial means can never and has never been the solution in fighting a natural system. So sea defense are always not a solution. Basically what we do with sea defense is that we either prevent the ocean from taking sediment away, or we block sediment within the transport path, the sediment transport path. We block and trap sediment so that we build beaches within where erosion is a problem. But in blocking sediment, you are depriving other areas of sediment. So basically what you've done is that you've transferred the problem from one location to the other. And that is why in some areas you realize that in Keta, for instance, sea defense is doing very well, but downdrift erosion has increased. Why? Because the volume of sediment that would have gone to build the beaches and gone to, create a balance in the sediment budget regime are now being blocked and trapped. So the reduced sediment will definitely have an impact. And these are some of the reasons why the downdrift side begin to erode if they are not eroding, or you have an enhanced erosion if they're already eroding. So to me, sea defense using hard engineering approach has never been a solution. We should now begin to think about managing nature, and that is nature-based solution. So naturally, how has the system been able to defend itself against erosion? That is how we should understand, and try to mimic the natural, systems of managing erosion, and then try to replicate that natural system. And I think that is the way we go. So to me, we can't win this fight. No, we can't. Because, and again, can we protect the entire coast of Ghana? It's not possible. We don't have the means to do that.
Professor Akufo-Addo said the increasing threats from coastline erosion was one of the factors that influenced the relocation of the presidency from the Christianborg Castle to the Jubilee House in 2013. Currently, the Christianborg Castle is facing serious erosion, with portions of the wall facing the sea falling off.
Several areas along the coast, not just Christianborg Castle, but several areas along the coast are vulnerable. And how do we ensure that there is an increased resilience so as to be able to fight or to withstand some of these challenges? Every facility within the coastal area has a certain level of vulnerability. But how do we ensure that we enhance the resilience of communities, resilience of infrastructure, resilience of assets within the coastal area? So it's all encompassing. But unfortunately, because we don't have a workable management plan for the coastal area, anything is just going on.
It was quite frightening. I was there, and the evidence is vivid and it's available, and we've taken up that information and working it around with the relevant institutions to see how it can be done. It calls for a stakeholder meeting where we will be able to judge all and then together find a solution to all that.
Other national landmarks, including the Independence Square, forts and castles, as well as UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Volta, Greater Accra, Central and Western regions, are in danger of being claimed by the encroaching sea in the next century.
Sea defense is part of the physical construction that can help mitigate the action. We normally want to rely on natural contributions towards the protection of the coastal line, but it must go hand in hand with the physical construction. That is how come the government has committed so much money and continues to do so to ensure the protection of the sea from destroying most of these facilities. As a nation, we have a situation on our hands, and I agree that something more concrete needs to be done in order to avert possible loss of these important historical monuments.
Well, I think it's about time that we begin to look at the coastal environment as an environmental issue and deal with it from that environmental perspective. And the people with the technical know-how within the environmental setting should be able or should be given the chance to look at that. A situation whereby we have different departments working within that space hasn't been the solution. It is changing the boundary of our southern, border. The shoreline is changing. So basically, we are losing land. So we can't say that the shape of our map is what it used to be some years back. So what it tells you is that the land area, we are losing land.
There is a need for a proactive monitoring system to protect the coastal ecosystem. An all-hands-on-deck approach is key.
Yes, one will say you have the law, crack the whip. We will do so, but we strongly believe that a willing people to go by regulation is far better than whipping people in line to go by regulation all the time. So we intend combining both tools, enforcement, full rigors of the law, and also continuous education and awareness creation.
Man's activities, especially coastal sand mining, is waging war against nature. As long as the earth will have life, man's existence will deeply be knotted with the sea. Experts say that beach sand mining is an existential threat to Ghana's coasts. It's crucial for a multi-sectorial approach to tackling this catastrophe. Indeed, man has to learn to live with nature and not against nature.
The Volta River Authority, the VRA, announced a controlled spillage of the Akosombo Hydro Dam on September 15, 2023, citing excess water levels. However, this single decision became and still is a major disaster in the area thus far, affecting an estimated 39,000 people in the lower Volta Basin. Public toilets, mortuaries, hospitals, refuse dams, homes, farms, schools, and even roads were education was disrupted. Schools like this one in Agbetikpo in the North Tongo district of the Volta region became shelters for thousands of flood victims. Classrooms became bedrooms, and for months, education was severely disrupted.
They don't have any class to learn. There is nothing like class for them. So UNICEF came to our aid to donate this tent for the teachers and the students to be managing.
Janet Agbavo is the class teacher for KG 1 and 2 here at Agbetikpo makeshift, tent classroom. We want to find out from her how she's been coping with the situation. How many kids do you have in this class?
Over 74.
And you are the only teacher?
Yes, please.
Tell us, how are you coping?
The situation here is not easy, but we are managing because the kids too, sometimes because of the hot weather over here, the tent, under the tent is not easy, but we are managing. And our learning and teaching materials too, we have to pace them. So far as KG is concerned, we have to pace them. The walls of the classroom have to be talking with colors, but because of this situation, we find ourselves over here. We have to be removing the things. Friday, we have to move the books and everything to the office. Monday morning, the kids, sometimes they pick those things and bring them here.
Livelihoods were shattered. Meet 38-year-old Patrick Wolanyo. He is a father of two. Before the flood, he relied on this cornmeal and domestic poultry. Rushing flood waters. Patrick is now homeless.
Before the flood, this is what I've been using. This is my property. This is what I get my daily bread away from to feed my family. But since the flood have taken place, you can now even see my place. the whole thing have been immersed in the water, so I can't even use the machine anymore. Now it's been destroyed. Those who know much about this machine knows the cost. So they can even tell you straightforward that it's even more than 5,000 now. This is also my pen. This is where I rear my goats, my duck, and even my fowls. So now they are all destroyed. Even the fowls, the thieves have even come for some because they don't have any place to live. So they've been stolen. So since they are no more, life is very difficult now. I don't even have anything doing anymore. This is where I used to stay with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, so for now the status of it is not even looking nice for you. As yourself you can see.
Okay.
There's no one in because I'm the one. I'm now living with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is because of the flood. The flood waters came so high. I can see it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the entire place, submerged in water. Yes, and so as we move in, you can see a lot of cracks in here. So you virtually couldn't save anything.
Yeah.
Because in here, I can see pillows on the floor.
Everything.
I can see the plaster on the wall actually falling off. Which tells you any moment this structure can just come down. Even us standing in here is not safe for us. I can also see your bed and then your drawers, the mosquito nets. The fan is still hanging here.
Yeah.
And so your electricity cables are still hanging, which clearly shows that you could not save anything at all. I mean, your bicycles, everything in here. And so these are your personal effects that you've actually lost in this flood. And so when you look back, you come back to this room where you used to have your family discussions, and you see the state of affairs now. I mean, what comes to mind?
It's very, very painful anytime when I get here. That's why you can even see there's no cleaning. Because when I get there, when I see things, then I don't know what to touch. I don't even know where to start from. So I feel very sad.
Hectares of crop farms, hundreds of livestock, fish ponds, and the future investment of the youth have all not been spared.
The size of the farm is almost 20, so the 15 hectares was submerged by the water. And also, this pipeline was damaged and ruined by the water.
It's about 4 months now. How are we going to survive our children? We're going to school. And our coconut, my cassava farm, I and low, I'm having cassava farm about 10 acres. And the others, they are having. In Sikor right now, if you go to the farm top, everything tend to firewood. All cassava tend to firewood. And we can't afford our life together. How are we going? And up to now, the village is not telling anything about our life. How are we going to survive?
This used to be Agboklai Amevol's house, 6-bedroom house before the coming of. But as we speak, and as you can see,
into this catfish business.
Here in another community due to the flood. Joseph is here with me.
The flood scattered everything because of the spirit. The piglets are all died. It take them away and nothing remains.
So at the time you heard about how many pigs in here?
I have about $85. I'm very much annoyed with VRE, and we are not hearing anything from them. My house collapsed, and we are all at Agbetikpo camp there. We at the tent where we are not getting it easy at all.
According to the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, in the North Tongu alone, 1,540 homes were destroyed by the flood waters, rendering thousands homeless. The aged and the physically challenged are the most affected.
Ablajo gbogbo àti ochichima o chaha atomegbe adrono jire hopo abe we chakra akwa abe 2 million 1.5 o cover makata ochichima akama bala gegbe do agere o makpo maruga kobola no makplinka mala da mo
85 years old Bavu Achu lives in this Sikor community with his wife. He's challenged by sight, which means he's not able to see. So that's how the wife takes care of him every day. And the building you see behind me used to be their place of abode. I mean, this is where the family lived. But due to the flood situation, as you can see, the building is down.
Rebuilding these communities and homes more than 6 months after the flood does not seem possible for many. In the face of this huge destruction and displacement, the VRA and the Energy Ministry insist the spillage was due to unexpected high inflows of around 400,000 cubic feet of water per second into the reservoir, based on inconsistent weather forecasts from the Ghana Meteorological Authority, the GMET.
In July, we depend on the Ghana Meteorological Agency for forecasts because the water that comes, it comes through rainfall. At the time, the forecast gave the indication that we are not supposed to expect too much water into the reservoir. But in August, the situation changed. The same GMET now issued a new adapted forecast that the situation has changed and we should expect a lot of rain going forward.
They relied on expert information from the Meteorological Authority Agency. That changed, and that changed the course of things.
But the head of Central Analysis and Forecasts at the Ghana Meteorological Authority, the GMET, Felicity Ahiafianyo, disagrees, insisting nothing changed as an accurate forecast was provided to the VRA ahead of time.
Our forecasts did not change. The documents are all there. It's a public document. Whatever we send to them is also made available online, so you can pick it and study it. Last year, the seasonal forecast came out on the 10th of March 2023 in the presence of the media and other stakeholders. And this document was sent to VRA. Then when that one was, we call it March, April, May, and then April, May, June. Then we have June, July, August, and then the trend continues. So we keep it 3-month season that we deal with. So for the 3 months, the accumulation, how it will be, that is what we are predicting. And then that is what we've given to them. So in a year, we provide them with 3 seasonal forecasts. That is the major rainy season purposely for the southern sector, and then the one for the north, and then the minor season. So the forecast for last year predicted that some areas are going to experience above rainfall for 2023 season. And then the minor to when it was out was also having the same indicators that most areas are likely to have above the normal rainy seasons that we know, of which it was communicated to them. In this particular case, we cannot be blamed for that because we have been providing them with daily, weekly forecasts.
This means the VRA's claim that the over 400,000 cubic feet of water that entered the dam per second before September 15, 2023 was unforeseen is untenable. The question on the lips of victims are, who was interpreting the GMET forecast data at the VRA? Engineer Abdul Noor Wahab. Whose decision was it at the VRA spillage till September 15, 2023? The VRA carrying out its independent monitoring upstream? What does the VRA's emergency preparedness plan say? And what was the level of engagement with residents before, during, and after the spillage? The Member of Parliament MP for North Tong constituency, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, insists his people deserve answers.
I cannot believe that such a major decision, cabinet was not brought up to speed, was not apprised about it, and that the commander-in-chief did not give the green light. I have the view that from VRA, if you had been engaged, the disaster took us by surprise. You, the September period, you took the decision that you are going to open the floodgates, and stakeholders, the chiefs, assemblymen, I mean, the media, there should have been sensitization. Those who should be evacuated, people who have to move out of harm's way, they will be evacuated. The aged, women, children, sis. If you certificates, your savings, those who have money at home, you have a few gadgets you want to protect, at least so that people's dignity will be preserved.
Michael Obinkonedo is the chairman of the Civil Technical Division of the Ghana Institution of Engineers. He shares how such spillages are supposed to be carried out by standard practice when it comes to hydro management.
The standard practice would have been to ensure that there's a certain buffer zone downstream of the dam that nobody occupies. If some more dredging had been done, if they had been able to convince people to move out of the potential flood release zone and things, that this thing would have come down. I think the only thing they could have done differently maybe would have been the evacuation and how it was done. Better mobilization, throwing a few more resources to move NADMO and the Navy and all those things.
Where were all these people? How come the military came many days after, fire service after, many days after, NADMO and others? I mean, NADMO came to meet me on the ground after, I know certainly it was more than 3 days before they came. And even when they arrived, they were not resourced, they were ill-prepared, and they were shocked. The level of devastation. So, of what use was that simulation if you could not guarantee that what you have told the people, and then, do you know that even the safe havens, and I have described them as not safe and they are not havens, they are just classrooms. So the biggest displaced campus, I call them, was the Mefes Nkizito Senior High School. Mefes Nkizito Senior High School. How did they prepare that place? It was many days after that we had to, and we started looking for even tents, looking for mobile and bringing water tankers to the place. So even in terms of the evacuation, moving the people to these displaced camps, what they call safe havens, How did they prepare those places? I mean, you go to Agbetikpo, for example, you go to Mepedagome, I mean, and you see that, but for donations that came in, tents, water tankers, mobile toilets, the places were not ready. So, in terms of preparation, the VRA and the entire government must concede that they just were derelict and negligent and took the people for granted. That is why we are outraged, totally upset about how we were treated. You don't treat citizens that way. So, I mean, if anybody tells me that things were going according to plan, as I heard one VRA engineer say, and they are following their simulation plan and their emergency preparedness plan, it is not true. It is not fair to us. That is not what happened.
Nana Yawakwada is a public safety advocate. He also believes the VRA erred in the execution of its mandate with regards to ensuring public safety.
There are 4 phases in emergency management. There is a mitigation phase where we look at what actions to take to reduce the impact or the consequences of the event. There is also a preparedness stage where we look at what to do, where to go, who to call, etc. Now, in these 2 critical phases, I believe the VRA failed largely. And if you fail in that 2 critical phases, it makes your response and recovery very difficult. And so that is what played out in the aftermath of the spillage of the dam. And so I think that the VRA largely failed in this regard. As far as the book and the reality is concerned, they did not tick the boxes.
These are reasons why affected residents, including traditional leaders, believe the real underlying reasons for the spillage of the dam should be investigated and victims duly compensated.
VRA should have the capacity to foresee what would have happened, because the Meteo people have been there, they've been saying this, Bismarck said this, and I believe they have a close monitoring system. So I feel there's something wrong somewhere. If the monitoring system is effective, I doubt why they should say they have been, I mean, they were taken by surprise. No.
I am very, 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 very disappointed by the VRA. If they open the water in Burkina Faso area, it takes days before it reach here. What is the communication that they have before they open? Because these things all look like it's a planting.
VRA didn't do its work well. That is why Mepe and all towns which were affected were flooded. From the time the president came here till now, the interministerial committee have not been on the ground to meet the traditional leaders, to hear of our challenges. How would they be able to help us if they don't come to hear our challenges?
Yao Nsako is a former vice president of Unilever Ghana and Nigeria. He questions why the interministerial committee set up by the president has yet to come up with findings of what went wrong.
An interministerial committee was formed. Have they issued a report? Has there been a commission of inquiry? VRA, which is the public sector body that is at the center of this, have we got a report? I actually have gone out cold looking for it and I can't find one. So the starting point is that the facts of what went wrong must be put before us. What are the lessons from this? This is how you develop a democracy.
As at now, there's no trace of compensation. There has not been any settlement or resettlement. There's nothing to show.
For nearly 20 years of my practice in this country, I have not seen any government, holding people accountable for public safety mishaps. It is almost business as usual. I mean, a disaster or something bad occurs, let's go out there, spend the taxpayers' money, give contracts, procurements, people take their cuts, and then problems partly solved. We all go to bed and wait for the next emergency or disaster to strike. It's almost like an endless cycle of governmental failure on the public safety front. And this is largely influenced by a passive society that constantly has failed to hold the feet of duty bearers close to the fire of accountability.
The big question is, could this disaster have been avoided?
I do take the view that it could have been avoided, because if you look at the history, and we grew up in these communities from 1968 to 2010, the VRA has failed, and this is the first time we are seeing this level of devastation. So we are of the view that the way and manner it was done, it appears that people waited to the last hour and did a full blast, and there was no proper emergency preparedness. We were taken by surprise. We've never seen anything on this scale, on this magnitude. So something really went amiss this time round, and that is why we keep insisting that there ought to be a program, so that, most importantly, those who were negligent, those who shirked their responsibilities and caused us all of this pain, this devastation, this catastrophe, are brought to book. But in addition to that, we need to learn lessons as a country, so that there will be institutional reform, so that we can all put in place the needed measures. So we need an inquiry. And it is through that inquiry that all the facts will be established, all sides will be heard, including the victims, the engineers, the management of VRA, the Minister for Energy and his colleagues at the ministry, the presidency. Did this go to cabinet? Did cabinet give the green light? What did they check before they gave the green light? We need to know.
If 36,000 people in upper class Accra were displaced, would we be this quiet and this indifferent? If cantonments, Ridge, East Airport, Airport Residential Area, you know the places now better than me, Trasaco Valley, if those places, if they lay in the pathways of the spillage, would we just have pumped water and displaced that 6,000 of the bourgeoisie? And would this country be as peaceful as it is? It is an indictment on us, the elite. I count myself as part. It is an indictment on us that when things affect the ordinary people, we are a little bit more indifferent. And if you build a society like this is something I say all the time.
Okay.
James Baldwin famously said, the most dangerous creation of any society is the man with nothing to lose. That is what we are doing.
When you get on any drag, it can give you some amazing energy and some creative geniuses that just boost you like this.
Talking about hard drugs. any time that anyone uses any of these drugs or substances of abuse, the brain itself gets affected.
Talking about hard drugs.
Creatives, their brain never rests. They are inquisitive. They want to unfold or uncover, release things that someone will be like, wow, how did we get to that frequency?
And when they stand on stage, they mesmerize us. Point in time, I left my comfort zone, my abode, and I came to Medina Ghetto, and I fraternized with rogues and wolves. I became a night owl, always on a wild goose chase. And sometimes making 3 square meters a day seems difficult and almost impossible for me.
This is Noah King, a presenter who once worked with a popular radio station in Accra in the early 2000s. Noah's exceptional presentation skills earned him a lot of admirers. But his promising radio career was truncated when he was plunged into an abyss of drug addiction. Noah King tells me that he started using drugs before he got into the media space. However, he says the situation got worse when he traveled with some musicians for a concert in Tamale. That was when he was introduced to more dangerous drugs.
After advanced level, I was at home doing nothing. And my father, had this koinonia with the musicians. He rolls with them. And then the Kokumba Nanumba War erupted. So the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the National Security Apparatus thought that it was prudent on your part to organize a peace concert dubbed Operation Gongo in the 3 northern regions so as to forestall peace in the environs. So apparently, my father having, this koinonia with most musicians told one that, yes, I want my son to join you guys so that he can familiarize himself since he's at home doing nothing. So we're airlifted here from Accra to Tamale. When we go to Tamale, the hotel that we were put up, I saw things that were alien to me, things that were foreign to me, things that I never knew anything about, though I had experimented cannabis sativa way back in college, way back in, during my secondary school days. So this time I realized that these things were foreign, and then one guy who was with me, whose name is Kofi, well, he was pointed to me, this is crack, this, what are you doing is cappuccinos, this is cocktail, and what he's holding is a bunker.
Noah King's curiosity fueled his woes. He was convinced that the source of the assertiveness and the energetic performances of the musicians was drugs.
So when I saw them do that, I said, okay, then this is what gets them euphoric. And when they stand on stage, they mesmerize us. And I said, okay, fine. So when they were done with all that they were doing that very night, we were called upon to clear the residue. And myself and Kofi chanced upon a couple of freebase. When I say freebase, I mean crack on the table and some on the floor. So we took them. And Kofi knows much into it, and therefore he fixed the crack and he took a hit. And he asked me too. I said, yes, I want to try it, because if this is giving them the euphoric and the energy and the drive, then I think it's a good thing. And I tried it, and trust me, I was like a moonraker. I saw myself like an angel suspended in the air.
When they returned to Accra from their concerts in the northern region, Noah could not free himself from the shackles of his newfound love. He spent his money on different types of drugs, including those that would enhance his sexual potency.
So from the experimental stage, I moved to the recreational stage. apparently I was getting tuition from them. This will actually let you perform well in bed and all that. And trust me, when I tried it, I realized that it was. But one thing about drug is this: when diminishing returns set in, you will get to understand that no, you're going down on bended knees, and even you wouldn't get erection, let alone ejaculation. Yeah.
The drug addiction had a toll on Noah's work. He would rather spend time in the hazy stupor of his drugs than go to work. Eventually, he was sacked.
It got to a point in time, instead of me going to air, I wouldn't go. I would say, Mufti Dabri, Najib DC, go play for me. So it got to a point in time, despite says, no, it seems this guy has lost focus. And apparently I was relieved of my duties.
Not only did Noah King lose his job, he also lost his family and resorted to sleeping in slums.
One day I went to town, and then before I came back, she packed bag and baggages and left unceremoniously with a young chap, Jaden, and they left. And when I came, I said, oh yes, beautiful. I love it that you guys went. Wow. Reasons being that the little that I have, I can use it to satisfy myself again.
But Noah King is not the only Ghanaian creative that has suffered the scourge of drug addiction. Kiki Jan, Timothy Bentum, OJ Black, Nasty, Lord Kenya, Akufo-Addo, Sugar Tone, and Red Eye of Too Tough fame have been in this situation. While some are able to overcome it, the addiction knocks others into penury and, in extreme cases, death. But the big question is, which drugs are commonly abused? Dr. Julius Hatcher, a psychiatrist and clinical coordinator of the Pantan Hospital, tells me more.
Commonly, what we are seeing, and the most common substance all around the world, is alcohol. Alcohol is a very, very toxic drug. Unfortunately, it's among all of them the most legal and illicit of the drugs. Yes. Whenever you see adverts on TV about liquor or any bitters containing alcohol, they say 18 years and above. But who really checks for ID cards whenever alcohol is being purchased? So alcohol still continues to remain the most predominantly used substance or drug for that matter. Cannabis comes soon after that in our setting, where people use and are able to get at very cheap prices, 2 cedis, 5 cedis, and they are good to go. They still enjoy their high. And then you have the cigarettes or the nicotines around.
This is the Chosen Rehab Center, a facility that offers help to mentally challenged individuals. This was where Red Eye of Too Tough fame, after battling drug addiction in 2023, got relief. The use of drugs is one big problem bedeviling the creative industry. A lot of creatives the world over have lost their lives, their sanity, and their livelihood through drugs. But what really pushes them into this act? Let's find out. The center has a music recording studio, a computer lab, a gym, and an open area suitable for prayer meetings. The Chief Executive Officer of Chosen Rehab Center, Apostle Daniel Kobe Washington, tells me about some of the things that drive creatives into drug use.
Because the brain never rests. Creatives, their brain never rests. They are inquisitive. They want to know more. They want to unfold or uncover, release things that somebody will be like, wow, how did he get to that frequency? How did he get this song? How did he come up with this movie? How did he write that book? You know, because the normal thing is, it doesn't give nobody an high. Something that is common, nobody wants to fall for it. But you want to come up with something different. And that is why they start experimental, abuse or drugs, let me do some weed, let me do some alcohol. They have the different ways to do that. But the weed is known that it's supposed to broaden or open them up.
According to satirist Evans Mensah, popularly known as KSM, the biggest push for drug use among talents in the creative industry is the ability of the drugs to evoke wild creative ideas.
They tell you that drugs will enlarge your creative horizon. There are so many things that you can create and do that under normal circumstances you will not be able to. And surprisingly, there's some truth to it.
For most people who use illicit drugs, they start as children or teenagers. The late Lynx Entertainment signee OJ Black is one of those who got trapped in the act when he was but a little boy.
I started smoking when I was very young, very, very little. I started at the age of 11.
11 years?
Yes.
Who introduced you?
No one.
How did it happen?
So I was in the boarding house, and sometimes you see the security, what we used to call watchmen.
Yeah.
Smoking around, seated in their jackets smoking, and I was talking to one of my friend who like, hey Charlie, you see the way this food is smoked, you know? It was like, oh, you go feed smoking. And that was how it started.
I want to sing for the world, sing for my country.
Good.
So if I sing and you don't pay me, I don't lose. If you know what you are doing and what the talent is and what it's worth, it's not what the peanut the person is going to give you.
Good. Nasty, a former member of the Lifetime Family Music Group, tells me that his relationship with drugs was birthed during his time in Adisadel College. Little did he know that what made him high for a moment would ruin his life forever.
This whole thing started in school. You understand? This whole drug thing started in school. I started and the disco guys they say me sell you out. And I'm trying to say about my life story that the disco guys are telling me that because I went to Adisadel, I'm selling Adisadel College guys out. But I'm not gonna lie. I started this drugs around at the year 19. I was a little kid. I was a little bit stubborn because Charlie, and you need something strong. I don't worry. So far as my motive is to stop drugs, I don't want any drug conversation because right now, I'm trying to say no to it more than going to rehab, or they should tight me. They don't want me. You understand? Say no to it. You have the money. Okay, that is real rehab.
Functioning of the brain.
The whole concept, the whole idea is that logical basis. Addiction now uses any of these drugs or substances of abuse. The brain itself gets affected. It halts the maturation of the brain. And to some extent, it even causes the brain's maturation to regress. So certain social skills that you would expect that a person will acquire at a certain stage, because of the use of drug, they may not gain or acquire it.
That notwithstanding, the general perception that drugs boost the confidence of creatives is rife among entertainers. Although Noah King agrees with this notion, he cautions that the consequences are dire.
On the prelims, you would do better because you can imagine when you are behind the turntable and being highly spirited and the music is going on, and you want to scratch, you want to do this, you talk, you get to the euphoria. So I always have the intuition that no, when I don't get high, I can't perform that well. But it will get to a stage and time where you will no longer use the drug for your work, but the drug will be using you.
For entertainers who depend on drugs for their creative activities, KSM, who admits to attempting drugs in the past, advises that the future is bleak. According to the venerated comedian, people who create works of art without external aids like drugs are usually more successful.
When you get on any drug, it can give you some amazing energy and some creative geniuses that can just boost you like this. You know?
Speaking from personal experience.
Can I finish?
Okay.
That can give you the boost.